So let's give it a little second so we can allow some of the girls to pour in. And then, girl, let's hop into what Mother is cooking up. What we have, girl, on the calendar, there's a lot of things going on. So I want to give the girls a little bit of time. Because what time is it? Is this our normal time? I would say this is around our average time. But how are y'all doing? Carl, how you doing? Persian, how you doing? Okay, one second. Let me, do I want to go to the blogs? I'm kind of entering this new area where I just don't be giving a fuck about these celebrities. I feel like, and it's no shade to them, I'm not saying that in a shady way, I just feel like we have enough of our own thing, what we're trying to do as a community and our own agenda, to where it's almost like, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's going to be times where I want to talk about it, but in general, it's like, I don't be really caring. Oh, Charlize Theron decided she was going to go to Whole Foods instead of, what, Ralph's? Okay, well, that's her choice. Like, is that really that big a deal? Hey, Justin. Ow. Hey, Mother Ashley. Ow. Hey, Mariah. Ow. Yeah, we're in this thing, and girl, it's going down. I have been looking forward to this live show. Number one, because we have so many new family members. So I'm hoping that we get some of the new girls onto this live show so that we can kind of just, introduce them to what it is that we do. Because, for the new girls, it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world. So, I kind of want to, introduce the girls on this platform, so forth and so on, just so that they can get acclimated. But we have a lot to fucking talk about. First of all, how is everybody doing before we hop into this meal? It says, remember, it's great to make friends. Girl, okay. Thank you. I've been doing this for a while, girl. I'm not a noob. As they like to say on League of Legends, girl, I'm not a noob, girl. Know how to work this thing. And you know what? I'm glad you're doing great now, because it's only going to get better. I have a few updates. Of course, we have a few topics lined up. I wish I would have my blunt rolled up, girl, but I recorded a podcast. First of all, I've been having so many tech issues. Oh my God. Well, you know what? Here's the thing about that though. I just purchased myself an iMac. So it's the desktop version. I may be saying that wrong. They have so many products now. I don't even know what it's called, but it's the desktop version of the Apple computer. And so I purchased that literally just so that I can, hey baby, how you doing, Darby? Hey, Donald. I see that Dean. Okay, the freshman is in the house, girl. And he's always fresh to death, is he not? But I digress. Okay, so what was I just saying? I was talking about the computer, but I don't remember in what capacity. Well, in any case, that's what I was saying. I have the computer. I literally purchased it just so that I can work. I want that computer to just be my work computer. Editing, whatever the case may be. I'm going to buy Final Cut so that we have more options in the future when it comes to different productions, because no tea, I was just telling, hey, Ahmad, how you doing, handsome? What's poppin'? I said I was doing a 5K walk today, and I was walking fast. You better come on. You better come on. You said you came in second, bitch. You better literally walk. Come on. You said you're old, poor. You come. Hello. And we're about to really go into, well, hello and welcome. I know that's right. You said, not really was the one. Okay, now you're back. Okay, you better come on through. You had better come on through. But anyway, that being said, okay, so there's so much to talk about. I'm trying to figure out what I want to start with first. Okay, so here's the first thing we'll start with. I'm working on a new song, Girl, She Is So Cunt. I'm so inspired. All this stuff is happening. There's so many moving parts, a lot of things going on behind the scenes. But already, girl, I have a new song. Girl, let's just say she's in the broiler. And girl, I popped open the top just to see where she was. And girl, okay. She's on point, girl, and I think you guys are going to be pleased. You said, hey, Mother Steph Gorgeous. Really, I could have had the song done, but there's so much going on, you guys. Oh, my God. Okay, so many moving parts. Okay, so we just dropped the tea on the song. The second thing, we just got a housekeeping service that's going to come through and kind of keep up the home. Because, my mother had said something to me that has stood out to me really since the time she said it, which was, she actually brought up the housekeeping situation to me, my mother. And I said something to her, maybe, and I'm paraphrasing, but something along the lines of, well, do you think it will be worth it to have a housekeeper. And her thing to me was, well, I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Do you think your time is better spent cleaning your apartment or focusing on your work? So it comes down to what you think you're worth. Girl, did she not get me together in 5.5 seconds, girl? Because I said, well, do you think it would be worth it to get the housekeeping? Okay. So she's basically said it like that. Her thing to me was, well, okay, it depends on what you think your time is worth. And so when I thought about it, I thought, you know what? I do work better when my space is clean. It's just everyone, and I think that's true for any person. I think when your space is organized and you know where things are, you just walk with a certain level of confidence because you feel like you're going to get something done. Does that make sense? And so, hey, Davion, baby, how you doing? Hey, Brandon. And then, of course, Legendary Darby's back in effect. And let me just say this live while we have him on the air. Girl, we were so, because we literally sent out a whole brigade. We were like, okay, where's Father Darby? I was like, if his coins got tight and he's just not able to make it because the coins got tight, that's one thing. But we just need to know that he's okay. So I'm so glad that you're not only back on the platform, but of course we know that you're in good spirits and everything is okay. So alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. So that being said, yeah, we have the housekeeping people. They're going to be coming on Tuesday of next week, I think it is. So we had to have them come and evaluate the space and write down the figures. And I think that the price what they're offering the children is fair. I think that what they're offering us is fair, especially for the service that is going to be so critical for me being able to work. So there's that. Sania had to reschedule because of the hurricane. They canceled her flight. So, which really was a blessing. I'm really, as time progresses on, I'm becoming increasingly convinced that there is, we talk about it here on this platform, talking about magic and the possibilities of things that are unknown. We talk about that kind of in a hypothetical type of, I believe in it, but of course, until we get, even though I feel like there are some things that have happened that are like hardcore proof, I really kind of, and now I'm about to clock myself because you can't really tell the universe how to send you the message. It's almost selfish to not only ask the universe for an answer, but then to demand that you receive the answer in a certain way. You see what I'm saying? So it's almost like the universe is probably looking at me like, well, girl, we've shown you a number of things. What more do you want? Do you really want us to come? Like, what do you want? Like, I ask questions, I'll cut on a movie, and it's literally talking about the question what I have. I'll go outside. It's like the other day a hawk followed me. Myself and Felice. When I took her out to the bathroom, but not in like a weird way. Well, it was a weird way, but not in like a scary way, rather. Let me correct myself. It was strange because it was a wild animal, but it was interesting because I didn't feel threatened. Neither did Felice. Because what it was is I had been seeing this hawk around my complex, this bird. And one time my partner, and he could attest to this because he was there the one time where we drove past, and it was just sitting there right where anyone could just reach out and touch it, just unbothered. So I thought that was interesting. So anyway, that happened. But fast forward, I'm walking Felice, and as I'm walking Felice, I look and I see this bird flying across. And it lands in a tree, and then it's just staring rather, at the two of us. So I dump off the poop, and then I'm walking back down, and then she flies down across to where we ended up again. And so then I just sit there staring back at the bird in the tree, like, I feel like I'm supposed to pull something from this. I'm not exactly sure what that was supposed to mean, or maybe it was just a coincidence. That is true too. That could be an option. But I'm saying it's just strange that this random animal, do y'all think that's weird? Maybe it's just me. Maybe that happens on a regular basis and I just never heard of it. But I've never experienced that. I've never seen that happen. So I just thought it was interesting. But what I'm saying is all of the answers, like what Mother Ashley is saying in the comments, are there. But you just really have to be open to receiving it. And then you have to also be open to maybe not getting it the way you thought it would come. So it doesn't mean that you're not going to accomplish your goal. It just means that maybe we may have to take, because the saying, what is it? There's more than one way to skin a cat is so true. The only way for you to get to this point is not just through this route. You can get to it this route. You can get to it that route. It's like a bus system. You know what I'm saying? Maybe bus 98 is the quicker route, but you could also catch bus 20 in connection to 30. It's longer, It's longer. But longer doesn't mean impossible. Longer doesn't mean it can't be done. So, you know. And you think animals are slime? Okay, well, Mother Steph, let me tell you another thing that happened the other day. But see, my partner don't be caring about stuff like this. It's like he cares about it when it's like too weird, like when the ice came out of his cup, or maybe when the glass exploded. Then he was kind of like feeling some kind of way. But little things that I pay attention to, he don't really be caring about. So let me give you another example. Recently, we were both walking the dogs together, and so when we were outside, I randomly saw this ladybug fly across my face. And then I saw it fly across into the distance. Now, I didn't follow, well, I did follow it, but I'm trying to like describe this accurately. So first I followed it with my eyes. So I followed it, but initially just with my eyes, just like looking at to see where it would land. And somehow it flew so far away, but I was literally able to see the leaf that it landed on. And I was like, ain't no way that this tiny little bug done flew all the way across. I'm trying to give you guys, I'm trying to think of an example so I can give you an example of how far it was. And just imagine how small a ladybug is. This thing flew all the way across, and I literally saw the leaf that it landed on, but I thought I was crazy because I'm like, clearly I think I'm making myself think that I know where it landed. But there's no way that I could have seen this bug land on this leaf. But then I walked with Felice because I normally walk Felice when it's the two of us walking them. Now, in general, when he's at work, I'll take them both. But when he comes back, maybe he'll take them both, or sometimes if we both go, I'll take Felice, he'll take Kappa, but I digress. Okay, so I walked over to that leaf. And when I went over to the leaf, the ladybug was on the leaf. And I was telling him, I was like, oh my God, I found this bug. Like, the bug that just flew across is on this leaf, and it's just walking around, which maybe is a small deal. Maybe it wasn't that big a deal, but for some reason, ladybugs make me feel like there's good luck around. It's just something about ladybugs, and maybe I could be wrong. Maybe that's just a superstition, but it's how butterflies in particular, butterflies and ladybugs to me are like good omens. And maybe that's just me, but that's fine. But the point is, when I found it on the leaf, I was very like happy about that, because I was like, girl, am I crazy? And I really did see this bug fly across my face, and girl, I know where she landed, and she waited for me, girl, because I walked over to her, and girl, she was on the leaf just walking around in like circles on this motherfucking leaf. So then, but here's the crazy part. So Kappa had pooped, and he maybe was asking me for a bag, but I was kind of wanting him to like maybe come to me a little bit so that I could kind of keep my eye on this bug without having to turn and walk to him and then have to find it again. But I don't think he was understanding that, because to him it wasn't that big a deal. So I kind of had to take my eye off the bug for a second, walk closer to him, give him the bag. But when I turned back, girl, she was gone. She was gone, girl. And I could not find her, girl. I don't know where she went. But, I mean, maybe she just flew to another leaf. But the point is, she wasn't on the leaf that I found her on. So that was that on that. But the point is, I feel like signs are everywhere. All the time. All the time. And, you know, for me, as I get older, it almost seems like every day more and more shit is starting to occur. Oh, the reason why we're doing, and I didn't even explain that, so thank you for mentioning it. The reason why we're on YouNow right now is because they're doing, I don't know what's going on, if maybe the beta is ending, but when I tried to do the live show via Crowdcast, it was, the option for me to click the button was like grayed out to where I couldn't select it. And so it was either me do this or me do it on YouTube. They had an option to where I could go live on YouTube, but I didn't want to do that. So I'm like, no. Because I remember last time we did it, either when we did it where it was a private show, it only lets 10 people into the show. When we do it here, it's unlimited. When we do it through Crowdcast, it's unlimited. But for whatever reason, maybe they're updating the system. I don't know what's going on, but they didn't allow me to. Hey, April Gorgeous. Hey, Justin. Hey, is this Brandy? Or what is this? Is this Brandon? Okay. Or girl, maybe I'm just adding because I don't see the done. I just see Brand is Andre. But then I feel like I'm also tripping. So maybe it's Brandy. Brandy's Andre? Girl, okay, that's fine. You'll let me know what it is, girl. I'm trying to work myself out of this whole, girl, but it's going deeper and deeper and deeper to the core, the center of the motherfucking earth. But I digress. You said my name is Brandon. Okay, so it is Brandon. Okay, cool. Hey, Shannon Gorgeous. Okay, so let's talk about, I'm like all over the place because I'm like super lit and hype about all what's going on, the new music, what we're working on, the new direction, what we're going to take. And I also want to get your guys' opinion on some shit that I've been meditating and praying on. And I want to know if y'all think I'm tripping or if you think that it's something that is worth us discussing and seeing maybe a new direction that we can go. But I know y'all are going to tell it to me real, so I want to bring it to you all and really kind of gauge where the minds of the people are. But, so number one, let's start with the song, and then we'll work our way back down, because I'm so all over the place. Let's refocus. So, I'm working on a new song, Girl, She's So Cunt, and it's like I'm just getting excited, because I'm like, okay, if the girls live for Mother Pat, they're going to get into this, and the lyrics is just, everything is on point. And I feel like it's the universe just channeling. Because as soon as I started, like, developing the beat and I'm, like, stacking and cutting and all this, it's like I was just getting chills. Because I'm like, I could just see this coming on in the club and everybody just going into a trance. Because that's what it feels like. I'm not going to give you the full scope of what she serves. But let's just say when she comes on, it's going to be like, girl, it's just going to overtake you, girl. Because I knew when I was going into it that I wanted something that was powerful, that would pulsate into your core, that you would feel. And so as I was, like, building the beat, I'm like, okay, no, yes. She stays, she goes, she stays. Cut her, stretch her out. Like, I was literally just like a mad scientist up in there. You know what I'm saying? Lincoln Baby. First of all, Mother Pat, there was so many things about that video that were not supposed to happen. But again, the universe, my mom always says, you plan and God plans. And God knows best. Now, again, I'm more of a spiritual person, but I do believe that. Because Mother Pat is the proof. And I'm going to put together a behind the scenes. We have, I don't even know how many, I feel like we have at least about an hour or two, of behind the scenes footage. And so I kind of have to scrub through it to kind of see what we have. But I want to give myself some time to breathe, because I'm excited, but I realize that I still am running on fumes right now, just because it's so much going on. But it's my adrenaline that's kind of keeping me, like, upright. But the whole thing in the nutshell is, Mother Pat, oh my goodness, the pool scene almost did not happen. It was not supposed to happen. But the universe had other plans. So it's like little things like that is how I know that was the universe. That was completely and totally the universe. Because the night before, we were all here, the cameraman and myself and my partner, and we're all smoking. They're playing with all the equipment that I purchased. And, I'm kind of giving them the run through with my camera, because, I wasn't sure if they were familiar with it or if they weren't. And right away, they knew what was going on, and we worked through all the kinks. I did not sleep for 2 days. 2 days. Because the night, you'll see in the behind the scenes footage because I want to put it together nice. I don't want to just put clips on Patreon. I want to put it together to where it's like something you would see on TV. So it's going to be, I'm going to edit the footage, and then it's going to be me, like, you'll see. I'm going to put it together nice to where you can really get into it. But the night before, everybody else was asleep. And I felt bad, because I was literally in and out of my bathroom, because we have two bathrooms. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house or apartment. But when we have guests, I use the bathroom that's in our bedroom. So I was crammed in this tiny bathroom, you guys. And I'm gluing rhinestones and pearls and putting the makeup looks in different bags and doing a last walkthrough with all the outfits. The night before, I literally did every makeup look, every hairstyle, and got dressed in every outfit just so that I can make sure, okay, on point. I mean, I was so exhausted. I'm sitting there. I have my Netflix going. I'm watching a Jimi Hendrix documentary on Netflix. I'm painting my nails. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I rehearsed the lashes, like everything. I was like, one thing I'm not going to do is let my girls down. So I literally walked through any aspect that I could walk through before the shoot. I did it the night before. And so then also at the same time, I'm shampooing my carpet, because because the shoot was Saturday. I planned on spending Sunday doing edits, and then Monday was supposed to be the Sania interview. So in my mind, it's like back to back to back shit. So I'm shampooing the apartment. I'm doing laundry. We're running through the equipment. I'm getting things. It was just so much was going on. But the night before, we had talked about some of the scenes. And I said, well, what about getting a pool scene? And everybody right away was like, I don't know. I think that might be kind of corny. And so in my spirit, I hadn't even thought about my college fashion show. That wasn't even a part of it. It was just, I thought maybe a pool scene would be cool. But when everybody had such a strong response, I thought, okay, well, if maybe one person didn't like it, maybe, but 3 people are having a strong response to this, maybe we should back off the poll. So the poll was out. The poll was totally out of the conversation. And so I said, well, you know what? There's also a gymnasium in this area that maybe might be cool for the tone that I'm wanting to set. And they were like, okay, I can kind of see gymnasium. We showed up to the gymnasium, and right when we showed up, seeing it, the idea was good, but when we saw it in person, it was like, I don't think that's gonna work for the video. And we all, hey Brianna Gorgeous. And I'm gonna read the comments real quick, but y'all know I'm so ADD, so let me get through this first train of thought, and then I'm gonna read the comments, and then we'll kind of pick it up from there. But so anyway, what happened was, okay, one of the cameramen said before I got a chance to, I don't know, because he saw we're all artists. So right away he was like, I don't see this. I don't see it. And I was like, well, I'm glad you said it because I don't see it either. And I said, but here's the thing. The gymnasium is right by the pool. So I said, well, since we're already here, why don't we just start shooting some shit by the pool just so we can have it? We may not even use it, but let's just shoot it. So that was the universe like channeling, because we almost walked away from that whole thing. And so they said, okay, well, we're already here. We may as well do it. So let's just say the pool scene was about an hour long, about an hour shoot. Maybe 25 minutes into it, we're going, because every time we would finish a take, he would be like, okay, let's see what we got so we can see if we got some workable stuff. So maybe 25 minutes into the pool scene, I got to chill because out of nowhere, it just occurred to me. I said, you guys, you're going to think this is so crazy, but I feel like the universe wanted us to do the scene because literally a number of years ago, I did a fashion show where obviously you guys know the story, but I walked around the pool and it was this whole thing and everybody else had real clothes while I'm walking around in trash. But I said, but in that moment, my life changed because it really taught me a lesson that as a performer, I don't want to make excuses. I don't care what I'm wearing. If I've committed myself to this performance, I want to show up and show out. And I remember like on the rehearsal, maybe the day or a few days before the fashion show, I remember telling the girls like, yeah, well, at the end of the day, it is what it is, girl. You just got to stomp the pavement. That's just it. You've just got to stomp the pavement, crack the frame, and make her bleed regardless of what you're dressed in. That's where that song was born. So Stomp the Pavement was born in the moment of that show. Bloodied in a Mess came from the inspiration, like the residue of Stomp the Pavement. Like that whole generation of music came from that one moment because it was like the way they talked to me about it made it seem like, oh, it's going to be this avant-garde thing where it's like it was all this whole thing what they were saying. And then when I show up or when we were at the rehearsal, everybody has real clothes but me. So if it's avant-garde, why aren't we all wearing this type of outfit? But yet you want me to open and close the show in garbage, like in trash bags and cardboard that you've painted black. So I'm sitting there and I'm explaining to them the significance of this scene and what it means. And I'm just like, now my adrenaline is going through my hands, like as I'm holding the camera, like I'm shaking because I'm like, how did I not see that this was all connected? Then I'm like, yo, I'm getting another chill. They said, uh-oh, what is it this time? I said, you're going to think I'm lying, but you'll see once you see this footage that I'm telling, like I have the receipts. Literally, the outfit that I was wearing in that pool scene was the exact colors that I chose for this scene. And that was not even intentional. That wasn't something that I said, oh, I want to go in and make and connect these dots. That the universe was literally moving me and I didn't even realize I was being moved until I'm sitting there watching the footage, maybe 25 minutes in. I'm just like, wait a minute. This is the pool scene. I'm literally like recreating the pool scene from my college fashion show. And not only am I wearing the colors, but my hair is up. Like if you go to that video, you see I had my hair up. That was literally the universe like, okay. Because that outfit wasn't even supposed to be an outfit. That's another thing. It's like so many things occurred in that video that it was like literally, it reinforced my belief in the universe. Because it's like that the scene wasn't supposed to happen. It happened on a last minute thing because everybody was ready to move to the next location. But I said, could we just do the pool since we're already here? Let's just do it. Why not? Like if we don't use it, we don't use it. But but then it ended up meaning so much to me because as I was editing, because then actually, once I realized going through the camera, like, oh my God, the colors, the hair, the whole thing is exactly almost the same. Then it occurred to me, I said, you know what? We have to do this right. Now, once it registered in my mind what it was, then I was like consciously like, okay, let's recreate it. Only after like the 25-minute mark. And so, but Mother Ashley, get out of my head, girl, because that, baby girl, that's literally what I was driving at. Literally, in my mind, it wasn't even so much about me. That was a part of it, but for me, it was a deeper message, which was in that video. There's a part where I put, remember this moment. Why I stuck that in there is because as I was editing, I was getting chills and I was just thinking of the young man that I was at that. It almost made me cry because it was such an impactful thing that I didn't even know I was doing until 25 minutes into it. But as I was editing, I remember the day that fashion shoot happened, or not fashion shoot, but this fashion show rather. And when it happened, I remember the day I showed up. The only piece of real clothing I had were the things I brought. Those tights were tights I brought. Those shoes were shoes I brought. Everything else they had me dressed in was garbage. Literally, not me. That's not even hyperbole. The dress that they built for me, on the inside of the dress, they filled it with garbage bags. So they didn't even put cotton in my shit. It was like garbage bags. And then they tied me together with the garbage strap. Like, it was just so in my opinion, disrespectful. But I digress. The point is, you want me to open and close the show. What you saw in the video was me closing the show. I never was able to recover the footage of me opening the show when I come out. There's pictures of it. You see me with the cardboard box on my head, the Andy Warhol cardboard box on my head. I just never found the footage to that. Maybe one day it'll come out some kind of way. But my point is, I remember just before, because when I showed up, I said, okay, so I'm opening the show. I said, is there somewhere you'd like for me to go for makeup? I was the last bitch to get my makeup done. They didn't even care. It's like, you want me to open and close the show, but you don't even want to like beat my face. Like, you don't even want to make sure that I'm taken care of since I'm going out first. They did everybody else first, and then I went last. And then when they did me, if you go and look at the video, just go and look at the video. And as I get close, you can see what she did. Like, it wasn't even, she literally, I remember she just scribbled like some shit on my face and put like some yellow powder on it. And then it was like, I think she put me some lashes and maybe a little bit of foundation, but it was so basic. She didn't even try. I could have done it, but I could have done my face before getting there and did a way better job than what she did. And it was just crazy to me because I opened and closed the show. And it's exactly what you said. I was the prop. I was supposed to be the spectacle. And you better come on through, Mother Ashley, because that's what it was. But I remember before I walked out the door, when I heard the music start, I said to myself, remember this moment. Because one day, bitch, they'll see that you were that bitch that they should have been putting more attention into while they wanted to put you in garbage bags. Just remember this moment, because it's not going to always be like this. I said that to myself. Just remember this moment. Eat this, stomp the pavement, crack the frame, make that bitch bleed, and remember this moment. Because they totally disrespected me. I'm sitting around, I'm opening and closing the show. You don't even care about doing my hair and makeup. You throw me into this fucking thing you just made up on the spot, some garbage bags, fucking cardboard box. And then you want me to go out there and slay. So I said, bitch, that's fine. I'm going to go out there and slay. And it's really going to be your mistake because I'm going to slay this in such a way to where I'm going to make these other girls look like what? Nothing. Because that's the reason why when I stomped out, they were so far behind. Because here's another thing that y'all probably couldn't tell from that video. We had so little space to walk. Because I don't think they thought as many people were going to come out to that show came out. Like, when we rehearsed it, we had way more room to walk around that pool. Way more room to walk around that pool. Now, I don't know how it comes across in the video. I just remember because I was there doing it. But when the show started, I'm like, okay, here we go. Because it's people, if you go and look, you see people are sitting. Some people, their feet are out. I mean, which is why there's moments where I'm looking down just so that I don't step on anyone's toes or kick someone's purse into the pool or something crazy. You know what I'm saying? And so, hey, baby, how are you? And of course, let me just make sure while I'm talking my shit because we've been having some issues. Okay, so I am recording. Okay, just want to make sure my other camera was recording. so that this episode can go up without a problem. So, but anyway, there was so little room to walk. And so, but I said, I don't want to make any excuses. Pay attention. Make sure that you're making sure you're not stepping on anyone, but slay this shit. And the scene where I hit that corner, why I always showcase that scene is because I remember consciously where I was mentally on that particular moment where I hit that corner. I said, bitch, they don't even know it, bitch, but I'm gliding right now, bitch. I'm gliding. And I've always soared across. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, I was stretching my arms out like an airplane, bitch, because that's how I felt in that moment. And even to the point like of me curving my hand, that was me being like the wings, bitch. An airplane, typically the wings, the ones that I've seen, they stretch out and then the wing, it curves up. So that was in my mind. I'm like, girl, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. I'm not gonna let these girls put me in this shit and have me coming out here like I'm ashamed. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm a stomp, I'm a stomp. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's no point in you coming out if you really aren't going to come out and make it your business to give the show the way that the show needs to be given. And so anyway, all of that, when I started to connect those dots, I'm like, what this video is going to show is that we use that moment to catapult us. We use that moment. That was a life-changing moment for me. Because if I can slay in a garbage bag and cardboard, you don't think I can slay when I get some coins to get some real costumes? You saw. It's like, to me, it's like, put me in a garbage bag, watch me turn, and then, you know what I'm saying? All right, my love, well, listen, be safe driving, have a good lunch with your friend, and universe willing, we'll see you around. Okay, my love? Thank you so much for tuning in. Mwah. But yeah, so it was just the whole shoot, that racist, when I landed on the thanks for not being racist, that was a total mistake. There was a scene when I stopped on that fire hydrant in the corner, there was a Black Lives Matter sign. That was a mistake. Those are things that the universe was like, okay, just placing me in certain areas. I would literally just stop at the perfect time and boom, perfectly in frame. Because when we took that take with the thank you for not being racist, one of the cameramen was like, yo, you literally stopped right in front of this sign perfectly like it was a thought bubble coming out of your mouth. And then you had the wing that was kind of like coming out of your shoulder like it was perfect. And I said, huh? He said, let me show, and then he showed it to me. I said, wow, that wasn't even, I didn't see that at all because to me, it was so dark and it was like little patches of light. So it would be light, it would be dark, light, dark, light. So what it was is he was like, we can't see you. He said, we can't see you, so we need you to stop by the light. So what it was is I stopped by the light, but he said, no, but go on the wall because you're stopping by the light, but you're still kind of like in the middle to where we're really not able to capture you the way we want. So go onto the wall. So at first I stopped on the one side. He said, no, that one's too dark. Go on the other side. So it was literally just me going from one side of the wall to the next side of the wall. That had nothing to do with, oh, let's make a political statement. That was just something that the universe was some kind of way channeling through me, and it came out through the video. But that wasn't my intention to stop by that sign or any of the signs, with the exception of platform. That was the only one that I did want because in my mind, I'm thinking I want it to be in the video because that's what it all boils down to, growing the platform. You know what I'm saying? But let me see. You better come on through and collect this high play. Is this your first live show, my love? You better come on through. Come on through. You said when Over the Rainbow came into the intro, I almost fainted. Girl, Shannon, for me, once I knew that the universe wanted me to kind of put that scene the way it was, they will tell you. Maybe one day I'll have them come and we'll put them a part of the behind the scenes just so we can kind of get like the whole story. But they will tell you, once I knew that at the 25 or 30, whatever, I'm saying 25, but it may have been a little bit less or a little bit more. Who knows? But the point is, it was somewhere in the middle of that shoot. Once I knew, I said, you know what, you guys, we have to get some scenes that reenact the pool scene because this is going to be important to me and to my team, to my supporters, to my girls. I think that they will understand the significance of that moment. So they didn't understand it, but they were like, okay, let's get the scene then. And they were so humble. Oh my God. Oh my God. But in any case, once I did that, in my mind, I had the whole thing planned out. Even during the shoot, during that day, I kept hearing it in my mind. Tamaya, Da, 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 the whole shoot, da da da, and then I would hear da da da. Like I already knew, like I knew early on. Once I had it in my mind that was the pool scene from my college fashion show, I knew that I wanted it to be a legendary chant intro. Like I knew it was all, the story was all coming together. You said I thought about that video when he sung that song to those haters in Walmart. You know what? And it's so crazy. It's like we all grew up. Isn't that crazy, you guys, that we grew up together? It's either people grew up watching me, we grew up together, or you watched me grow up. It's so crazy that we have all of that. All of that tea is just there. Like, which is why I think that, and it makes me so happy to know that my girls are proud of me, because I feel like y'all have seen me grow. Y'all seen it. Y'all seen it. I mean, so it's almost like it was so exciting for me to like present y'all with Mother Pat, because it's like I know my girls are gonna get their life, because they know how much love we poured into this, and they're gonna know. Like we talked about this for months, you guys, like preparing for it. And I remember praying like the night before, like I told you, I was so exhausted, and I kept saying it probably would be smart for me to sleep. And that's another thing with the shoes. That's another thing. Now I'm telling you this, and it's gonna be crazy now because now you'll notice it, but those red shoes were so much more elaborate than what you saw. I had spent hours, my partner and I did it by myself, but we were watching shows and smoking this blunt, and I sat here on the ground getting all kinds of burns all over my hands because I sat there literally hours gluing on stones, pearls, ice crystals. I mean, that shoe looked like a fucking something out of a goddamn movie in the beginning. I wish y'all could have seen it, but it wasn't in the cards because the shoe, they slipped off of my display and everything crumbles. It all crumbles off the shoe. Damn. I mean, y'all should have seen it. It looked like something out of Narnia. All these ice crystals and pearls perfectly placed, big ones, small ones. There was all this glass. It looked, when you would have seen the shoe and the light would have hit it, it just would have been, but there's always next time though. There's always next time. But you know. And you know what, you guys, we're only going to take this thing further. There's a lot of things that I want to run past my team. And like I said in the podcast that I'm going to release after this show, because I have a podcast, like I say, my technology has really been giving me problems. But what it is I'm trying to finish up whatever work I have on this laptop so that I can start doing my work on that laptop. Or not laptop, but desktop rather. But here's the thing. I figure I may still do my Sims and my League. I think I may do my gameplays on this computer, only because it's just easier. I can't really do that with one of the girls in the background, which you just heard. But I don't, with Elgato, the thing that I use for my gameplay, especially when it's on the PS4 in particular, it's not really feasible for me to use that in that room. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess it could be because I have a TV in my office too, so. But that TV is, no, I just want to keep it. I'll do my gameplays on this laptop, and then everything else will be handled there. But I'm trying to wrap up all of my audio stuff, some of the music stuff that I'm working on. I'm trying to wrap up those final songs, just so I can kind of transition into that. But you guys, we're about to take this thing to the next level. I think there's so many brilliant minds on this platform, so many amazing ideas coming out of Parliament from you all that are saying, okay, for instance, I think, who was it? I can't, oh my God, I don't know if it was Darby or who, but somebody was saying, okay, we need to send it to this girl, we need to send it to that girl, and so forth and so on. And the girls have been reposting, so forth and so on. And I said something on my podcast that I really would like to also address here, just because it really kind of made me think. And to me, the fun thing about living is the fact that you learn something new about yourself every day. That to me there's a lot of fun parts, but that's one of the fun parts for me. It's the fact that this isn't as good as it gets. Could you imagine how sad it would be? I mean, I think people think they want to reach their full potential. And I think that's true. However, even when you get to where you think your fullest potential is, you should still want to be better than that. Like, I feel like, to me, that's what makes it fun. Because when I think of what are new ways that I can entertain my girls, what can we introduce to this platform that they'll get their life to. You know what I'm saying? Okay, when we're serving, because that's what I wanted to say. And I'm so ADD. So if I switch conversations and there's something that you want me to elaborate on a little bit more, just bring me back to it. But I remember praying the night before, like, universe, just please, just bless this shoot, because my girls are waiting. They've been patiently waiting. And just, I'm going to bring my A game. You see me? And I was literally talking to the universe like, you see me, I'm not getting any sleep because I want to make sure this shit is on point. So I'm doing my part. The cameramen, they drove all this way. Some places, one of them lives far away. He drove here. Everyone drove here. They're spending the night. They're going to spend the entire day working for free on my video. They refused to even let me buy them lunch. They just really wanted to be a part of the fucking project. I mean, it almost made me, actually, it did make me cry a few days ago when I thought about how the universe just brings angels into my life, ranging from you all to even the cameramen. And I think we talked about this a while ago when we were talking about how people always say, oh, it could have been me. Okay, it could have been you, but it also didn't have to be you. I don't have to be in this position. So I'm blessed to be in this position, and I never want to take it for granted to where I feel like, oh, people just have to love me. No, they don't. It's something that you earn. It's something that you cultivate. It's something that you respect and that you honor and that you grow. And so for me, I was just honored that the universe put these people in my position who are also artists, who I was so passionate about the idea. When even before they heard the song, they wanted to be a part of it because I was just so hyped. Like, it's going to be the bomb. My girls are waiting. I see Hills. I see this. I see that. Mind you, these are straight dudes too. So it transcended being gay. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I meant to do that. And I am going to shout them out because they deserve it. They deserve it. And I am. And to me, first it became, how do I want to do it? Because I know that they're like private citizens to a certain extent. Even though they're artists, they're not as open as I am. And so even putting them in the video, because they're actually in the video, having them in the video, I wanted to make sure that I respected their privacy because I'm really big into that. I chose this, but, I don't like to say people's names or whatever. Y'all know how I get down. But the point is, even with the video where they were, I made it to where either it was scenes that didn't really show their face, or if it was a face scene, it was a very quick scene or something where their face was dark, just to protect their privacy. You know what I'm saying? But they literally were perfect. They couldn't have done anything better. There's not one thing that I think they could have done better. They were so professional. Their work ethic was so on point. I mean, there were moments where I was exhausted because those shoes, I mean, we were stomping for hours, you guys, driving all the way across town, and then it would be them. Like, so I would be like, are you guys ready for lunch? Because I told them, I was like, let me buy you lunch. Are you guys ready for lunch? Just let me know when you're hungry. Do you need something to drink? And they kept refusing. No, let's get this scene. Let's get this scene. Let's do this. Let's do that. And even when I would get tired, because there would be moments where I was like, oh my God, do we really need, in my head, I'll be thinking, do we really need to get that scene? Because I feel like we have so much footage. Do we really need to get that scene? But then they would be like, I'm telling you, I think if we get this, it's going to make it look better. Like, it's going to give you more variety. And I said, and so I would be like, you know what? Okay, I trust you. Let's get the scene. And so I was so exhausted because we started in, mind you, no sleep, 2 days, no sleep. I think maybe an hour. So I got sleep. I mean, 2 days, 1 hour of sleep is not really anything, but I was running on adrenaline. So in the car, when we would go from location to location, I would get like whatever nap I can squeeze in. The longest one was from my apartment going into the city. So I got a decent nap there, although we almost had an accident. Someone almost slammed into us on the goddamn interstate, almost sideswiped us. So again, the angels were in our favor. But because we almost got into an accident before we even got majority of the damn shoot, but that didn't occur by the grace of God. But we started shooting, and I was so exhausted because it was hot. And that's another thing. It was so hot, but there was not a lot of sweat. Like, the universe was protecting the kid. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, as an artist, I am somewhat of a mad scientist. I get that. And I know that my process may be different okay, let's just fast forward. Because they were, like I say, they were perfect. There's nothing that they could have done better. They treated my shit the way that they probably would treat their own thing. They put love into it. love into it. They had ideas, I had ideas. And the best of all of our ideas ended up in the video. It was the best of all of what we both all wanted it to be. Because there were some parts where they were like, okay, we need to get some stuff at night. We have to get a night scene. I thought those night scenes were beautiful. I thought they totally gave the video a totally different feeling. And I never asked for that scene. That wasn't something that was a part of what we talked about. But it was something that once we got there, he said, I think it's just going to add so many layers. And I said, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. And even when we finally, like later on in the evening, like I said, we started in the morning. Now maybe it's around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever time. Finally, I said, please, let's get something to eat. Because now I'm hungry too. So let's just get something to eat. And even then, they did not want me to buy them anything. I had to force them to let me buy them some beers and a side of fries. For an entire day of work, driving all to these locations, even then, they were like, no, let's... And then even then, they were like wanting to... It was like we chat and kikied for a while. You know, they were talking about guy stuff. You know what I'm saying? But then it was like, okay, let's get back to work. And then on the way driving back, I said, okay, well, if you didn't let me get you dinner before, let's get dinner when we get back to the apartment. Let me know what you guys want, Chinese, pizza, whatever. And actually, I said, before we get to the house, let's stop to QT so I can get you some gas. He refused my gas. I mean, angels, I can't, it makes me emotional because I can't, what did I do to bring those type of people into my space? Hey, my love, how you doing, handsome? You said the broadcast won't load? Oh, no. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, no, they are definitely sweet. And I mean, I can't, it makes me emotional because it's what did I do to deserve any of this? I mean, to deserve the support from you all, them, my mom is amazing. Like, I feel like so much throughout my life is just like blessing, blessing, blessing. And it's hard sometimes because sometimes as humans, we still get down. Just because you're blessed doesn't mean you can't be sad or lonely or feel aggravated or any of those things. You know what I'm saying? But it's just about taking inventory. Like, you can be upset because, you know, I'm not that bitch to sit up here and be like, oh, you should always be happy. I don't believe in that. But I do believe in, don't dwell on it. If you may be upset, that's okay. You're human. You can feel however you want to feel. But to not dwell on the negative when all this beautiful shit is occurring around you. Do you not understand that these people are going up for you? Do you not see that these people are spending their time to make sure that you get put on? So what you mad about? You know what I'm saying? Then you have to kind of jog yourself out of, allow yourself to feel what you want to feel, but then bring yourself back into reality. Does that make sense? So it's like, it was just crazy. The whole thing was just crazy. They were just absolutely amazing. But one thing that I started saying, and then I totally veered off the path, but I do want to address here again, because I talked about it on the podcast, but I want to talk about it again here. A while ago, some kind of way, Mother Miles Jade came up in conversation to where the girls were, I don't even remember what I was being asked about her, but some kind of way we were talking about her, and I said something like, well, you know, we met, and when we met, you know, she wasn't mean to me, but I was under the impression maybe she didn't like me. Maybe she felt that, because in the group that we were running around, or that we were maneuvering in, was primarily white girls. You know what I'm saying? Shane and Blair Fowler and all those girls. What's the girl that we were talking about? The blonde who cries all the time. I can't even think of her name on the spot, but the boxum with the blonde hair crying all the time on her kitchen floor. Her, like, Trisha. All those girls. So for me, in my mind, I felt like maybe because I didn't know why he wouldn't like me. Because we had never met. And so, you know, I didn't understand it. So in my mind, I thought maybe it's because it's one of those things where he's thinking that it's competition because we're two gay, black, feminine men, and it's, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I said that, and you said that she came out of nowhere with support. Girl, that's a whole nother conversation, but we'll get into that. But anyway, I said that about Miles. And then when I released Mother Pat, I don't know if you guys saw, but on the video, he left such a positive comment. And it made me think, like, maybe I was wrong. And then in a weird way, it felt good to be wrong. Like, if I had to be wrong about something, this would be it. Because he was so supportive. It was like, I was genuinely surprised to see him like go so hard in the paint. Like, bitch, he went in. And then he also retweeted the video and all this. Like, it really, hey, my love, how you doing, handsome? But in any case, well, we need to get you a thumbnail, girl, so we know who we're dealing with. But in any case, so I appreciated that. Like, I really did appreciate that, because he didn't have to do it. He didn't have to show me love publicly. He didn't have to do that. And so then I'm hitting this blunt and I'm sitting there, because to me, the type of person I am, I don't want to have, especially not with the YouTuber, because girl, I understand your story. So I don't want to fight with you. For what reason? Which is why it was so disappointing with the whole B. Scott thing. And I don't want to rehash what I'm talking about in the podcast, but that's why that was so disappointing. But with the Miles J thing, I'm like, you know what? Whatever I may have thought, okay, that may have been my feelings, and I'm not going to say that that was wrong, because that is how I felt at the time. But just because that's how I felt does not mean that I was right about how I felt. And so for me, it was a nice thing for him to do. It was a nice gesture that I did receive. And so at this point, I'm like, that's fine. So now I see that she is a supporter of my work. So that means she's always going to get love from me, because I'm not that bitch to be like, oh, well, she showed me love, but now because of how you made me feel 5 years ago, I'm not going to receive it. That's not a good look. That's not grown, and it's not cute, and girl, it's paid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Chan, and that's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, it made me feel almost really bad that I was so off base. Like, dang, I totally, here he is in the comments, like, in full support, and I was totally off base with her. Like, how was I that wrong about him liking me or liking my material, whatever the case may be? I was just very off base with it. And then it also made me, because then I was like, let me go on to her videos, because in general, I've been going to other YouTube's videos lately more than I normally would, because I do think it's important that there is some form of camaraderie. I try to stay away, to be honest, just because I feel like if I don't involve myself with these YouTubers, then I can't get caught up in no YouTube drama. I don't like that. Like, I don't want to be, I'm not that B. Scott, when I got into it with B. Scott and Chris Crocker, that was all I really cared to get into it with. Outside of that whole ordeal was so petty to me that after that I felt like, girl, no, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, that's not what I'm here for. I don't think my supporters are coming to hear me argue about other YouTubers, and I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to do that. And so from that point, I kind of tried to stay out. I think the only other time really that I addressed the YouTuber, and I could be wrong, maybe there were other times, but I think the only other time I did it in a public way was Star Milan. And I don't think I did a video about her. I think it was more like a podcast situation. I never understood the beef with you and B. Scott. Well, I talk about it in the podcast, but I'll go into more. I'm trying not to go too deep into some of the stuff I talk about on the podcast, just so I'm not like rehashing some of the same stuff. But the issue with B. Scott and myself, which was so disappointing, is he was a fan of my work before I even knew who he was. That's just the facts of the case. He knew me before I knew him. What the issue about it was, he started to amass a lot of numbers. So maybe I think he did a video that got popular. I can't remember what it was, but there was a video he released that it didn't go viral, but it got him a lot of attention. And so when she started to grow her platform, her numbers surpassed my numbers, which I was totally okay with, because for me, I've never, in my mind, I've always felt like I know what I bring to the table. So a number don't mean shit to me. Just because a bitch can bring 1 million views does not mean that she is more talented than me. It just means that maybe she just has a better marketing team. Maybe she's just more creative with these thumbnails. I don't know. But in any case, that has never been my issue with B. Scott, was her numbers or her success. Not at all, because I've always wanted, from the Scorpion Show, Alonzo, who I adore, who is always so kind to me when I run into her, Fran, all of the YouTubers that I like, or even if I don't like them, fuck, I don't even have to like you, but if you're depicting an aspect of my community that needs to be depicted, or a voice that needs to be heard, whether I watch the material or don't is beside the point. The point is, you're an important voice that for the culture and what it is that we're doing is important. So the point was, I never had no issue with B. Scott at the start. But what happened was, as her numbers started to increase, people started to be under the impression that because she was bigger than me meant that I was copying her. And so it became this thing where on a regular basis, her fans would attack me and, oh my God, we don't need to be Scotts. Why are you copying her? And why are you trying to be her? And who do you think you are? To the point to where it was like, okay, we have to address this. Because it may be one or two people, but it was every video, relentless. For those of you who've been watching me for a while, maybe you can attest to this. But it became like this big deal, like this big thing where it's like, okay, it was just always coming up. You know what I'm saying? But in any case, so I said, you know, because I knew she was a fan, because here's how I knew. Let me scale back a little bit just to kind of give you more details. YouTube used to have it to where you could see people as they were watching your videos in real time. How I even discovered her was because she would be on my videos, watching all my videos all the time. And I would always see her name in real time watching my material. This was prior to me knowing who she was as an entertainer. I just thought she was a fan or somebody that was into my material, someone who supports my work. I don't know. But I would see a green dot and it would say, Love B. Scott. Under all of my, not all of my videos, but a number of my videos, Love B. Scott, Love B. Scott, Love B. Scott, Love B. Scott. So I'm like, who is this girl who's always watching my videos? I clicked on it and then I thought, oh, she's a YouTuber too. And so that was where it was no shade, no animosity, nothing. Pause. Fast forward, it's all this campaign almost to make it seem like I'm a fraud, like I'm stealing from her. So I simply made a video and I said something to the extent of, B. Scott, you know, I know you can't control your fans, but if you could just publicly maybe just come out and say that it's not okay for them to attack other people on your behalf, I would really appreciate it. And I know that, because here's my thing. I know that he can't control what people do, but at least if you show that you don't support it and you're not okay with it, maybe that will calm it down a little bit. And then if they continue, at least you did your part to stop the quote, although I wouldn't say it was bullying, it was more like harassment, but still, at least you did your part. But she refused. She literally, she refused. She knew that I did that video. How I know is because I had some of my girls, because she used to do live shows too. And one of my girls, or a number of them, came to me and said, girl, we were watching, because, you know, we shared supporters. Like, we had people who liked her and me, which is fine. But what it was is she was doing a live show, and this is where it went to the left, where the drama started. Because at first, I was trying to appeal to her humanity, like, people, you know that I'm not stealing from you. You know that you knew about me prior to me knowing about you. So how could I be stealing from you? I didn't even know you existed until you started watching my shit. But I think she had gotten to a point where she wanted to be the only girl doing that. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like she wanted to be the only feminine gay girl who talked about stories about her life or whatever. I don't think she wanted people to think that there are two individual storytellers that do that. I think she wanted people to believe that she was the one who was the one. And so anyway, when she was doing a live show, I had people coming back to me telling me the same shit, which is how I know it was true. Because these girls don't even know each other to be telling me the same exact story over and over again. So what it was is they came to me and they said something like, girl, B. Scott did a live show and we had mentioned, or someone mentioned in the comments, so what do you think about the video that Quadir left about you with regards to your fans, etc.? And this bitch did that thing that these girls do that I hate, where she pretended like she didn't even know who I was. How disrespectful and how hurtful, really. To know that you were a fan of my work, really. Because many a night I would see you watching my shit, bitch. But then you're going to pretend, now that you've made it, you're going to literally sit there and act like you don't even know who I am? Really, girl? So for her to be like, oh, who? That's what it was. Who? Oh, Quadir. Who? I don't know who that is. That's when I lost respect from her. Because at first, it was like she had no control over it because it was what her fans were doing. But my point was, could you at least it don't even have to be a long, drawn-out thing. It could just be a short, hey, you guys, I heard that you guys are going around being negative in my name. You guys know I'm a love muffin. I represent love. And so if you are supportive of me, don't do that. If you do that, don't do it in my name, because I don't, if he had just said something short and just to the point like that, then even if they can continue to come for me, at least then I would be feeling like, but he tried. Am I making sense, or am I tripping? Maybe it's me, but that was where the drama came from. Because it was, to me as an artist, there is no worse insult than for someone to accuse you of plagiarism. As an artist, there is no worse insult to me. So how the fuck can I sat here for years? Because at that point, maybe I had been doing it for like 3 or 4 years. Years I've spent cultivating my technique and what I do. And now y'all are really just going to take all my hard work and attribute it to him? How dare you? How much of a fucking slap in the face? You work on something, and now instead of you getting credit for your work, oh well, this was Beyonce's idea. Beyonce created this idea first. What? That was the part that where it really stung, because he knew it wasn't true, and he just refused. He refused, and then would be so shady about it on his live show. Who is that? I don't know who that is. I just don't know who that is. And what killed me with her really the most too, and why with Chris Crocker, and it wasn't Chris's fault. To be fair to Chris, it wasn't Chris's fault, but she never featured me, but she wanted to feature a white girl that was similar to me. See, that's what I mean when I say propping people up, because even though Chris Crocker was his own thing, I felt like we had similarities in that we were feminine, we were goofy, we kind of had some similarities. It's just like Miles J and myself. There's similarities, but we're still our own unique thing. But the fact that she was so shady to me, openly on her live show, who is that? I don't know who that is. But then you turn around and you give so much life to Chris Crocker. It was just like, wow. So then I started feeling like she's the type of black girl that will only prop up black girls that she feels are bigger than her, or black girls that she feels she could probably advance from. She just didn't want to feature me because she probably felt I was beneath her. Or she didn't want to address me because she felt like I was beneath her. Or maybe what it really was is she was copying off of me. Who knows? Because again, you were watching all of my material. So that's where the whole debacle with her and myself came about. But where it was so disappointing is, just think if she would have done what I thought, and what if we would have had a relationship to where we actually worked together? Think of what that could have done for the LGBT community that supports us both. But she didn't want that. And she felt like, and I can understand her maybe feeling like she wants to deal with the bitch that's on her level, but bitch, I was on your level. The only area where I was not on your level is money. But talent-wise, bitch, I've always been on your level, bitch. Originality, bitch, I've always been on your level, bitch. It's never, the only thing what you had above me was money. But I've always had a very real connection with the girls. I've always poured love into my work. It's nothing about what I did came because B. Scott existed. And so I think, and maybe if I had been one of those girls that kissed her ass more, but you know why I don't require that? Because I don't ask people to do that for me. So why should I do it to you? I don't expect people to be, in order to be my friend or for me to feature them, to be like, oh my God, Quadir, that, don't get me wrong. If you're a supporter and you dig it, then girl, give the bitch her tens. But bitch, we communicate all the time. And it's like, if y'all feel what I'm saying, you feel what I'm saying, but it's not a situation to where it's like, I needed to literally be on repeat, like, oh my God, bitch, I live. Like, no. When I say something that you got your life from, then you can give me my tens. But in general, I don't need that. You know what I mean? Because we're here, we're equals. But with her, I don't think she saw it that way. And I could be wrong, we'll never know. Because, at this point, we've never made up. I don't think, the only time I mention her is when it's relevant to a conversation we're having, but it is what it is. What are you going to do? I still wish her the best, even though she's not my favorite person. I know that I had gotten wind of a while ago, maybe her father had passed away, which is never easy. So despite whatever our issues may have been, even now, it's really not that deep. It was just more on a integrity level. Like, don't say that I'm stealing when you know that this is my own creation. This is my baby. You know what I'm saying? I incubated and made sure that this thing came out how I wanted, and now you're wanting, I gave birth to it and you want to hand my child to another person? Like, it just was crazy to me. But I mean, but that still pales in comparison to losing a parent. So I mean, in that regard, I definitely wish him the best, and I don't have to like you or feature you, but I don't want nothing bad to happen to people like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, that's just awful. So, I mean, in that regard, I wish him well. But, I mean, it just sucks that we never could figure it out to where we could sit down and really have a real conversation and, like, publicly come out in support of each other. But it happens the way it's supposed to happen. You said it's annoying how much relationships matter over skill. And yeah, true. Yeah, true. In the entertainment industry, that's why so many talentless people are out there. Well, yeah, for sure. You know, for me, right now, you guys, we have so many things cooking. First of all, in a minute, let's segue, because I really just wanted to give Miles J her tens, because first, before I wrapped up that whole conversation, because I really did appreciate the fact that she came out publicly in a public way. That really made my heart smile a little bit. I said, wow, that was really kind of him. He didn't even have to do that, and he did it. And then he shared the video too. What a kind gesture. So whatever I said about him before is irrelevant. I don't care about that no more, because who cares? If he didn't like me at first, now he does. Okay, so we're moving on. I'm not going to hold a grudge. Life is too short. I could be dead tomorrow, God forbid, but that's just the facts of the case. So to sit here and be upset with someone who is now showing me, because actually it's so funny. Trey Melvin, I met him. He was so sweet. He definitely showed me a lot of love, and I didn't even know he knew my work like that. But when I mean, he was first of all, he's so pretty in person. He's a pretty person, and then he was just so down to earth, you know. But most of the girls there were some girls that I didn't really feature. And it was no shade, but most of the girls, Fran, of course, Kevin is always a sweetheart. He's always been sweet to me. Alonzo, Funky Dineva, I didn't like her at first, but she did apologize to me for how she was dealing with me, because she's another YouTuber who there was a grudge there. But then when I ran into her in Los Angeles, I think she knew that I didn't like her, because I could tell her way of addressing me was very timid. She did not, because when Kevin and Alonzo came to me, Funky Dineva was also with the two of them. And so when she came, they spoke to me, and I was with one of my friends who works in publication, or who was, at the time, he was editor-in-chief at this one publication. But the point is, actually, New Media Rockstars, where I did my interview, where someone turned it into a meme where I'm like, girl, yes. He interviewed me, and he actually at that time was the editor-in-chief. And we became great friends after that. I mean, since that time, we talk on a regular basis, you know, and I was actually supposed to live with him. He believed in me so much. He bought me a plane ticket. He said, we're going to get your career off the ground. You're coming back to Los Angeles. He purchased me a plane ticket. We mapped out the whole thing, and I was just a dumbass bitch. There's no other way to put it. I was a stupid ass bitch that did not get on the plane, and that's what happened. But Trey Melvin, sweetheart, Zachary Campbell, that name sounds familiar. I would need to see his face to really know who he is. But hey, Zachary, baby, you said, I'm a little late to the party, and you are here. I like Shameless Maya, but she gets a side eye from me from time to time. Yes, Shameless. I want to be very careful here, because honestly, that was what I want to ask you guys about, and I want to get your guys' honest opinion, because I know that you guys are going to just tell me the truth, and I know it's going to come out from a place of love, which is why I want to reach out to my family. So that being said, let me just address Maya, and I want to be very careful. Again, she's another voice that is needed. You know, she's interracial. She is representing a segment of the girls that need representation. So in that regard, I think what she's doing is a beautiful thing. Her productions are always high quality. You know, so it's respect in that regard. The only thing I would say about her, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's the right or wrong thing. I would just say when I met her, at least the time that I met her, maybe it would be another Miles J situation to where I could be wrong. Maybe it was just a bad day for her. I don't know. But she was very standoffish to me. Fran and her, I believe, are very close. So it was I think the girl Shan Body or Brody, or You know who I'm talking about. The light-skinned girl with the long curly hair. She was there, but, ooh, I'm going to say this, and girl, yeah, I'm not being shady. I'm just calling it how, just the truth. I liked her, but she kind of was a little annoying to me. I liked her, but she annoyed me a little bit. You know what I mean? Only because she was kind of obnoxious, which was surprising to me. I didn't expect her to be obnoxious. I did view her to be obnoxious, at least that time. Maybe if I met her again, it would be different. Because I can be obnoxious too, but I feel like I know when to be obnoxious. She was just like, for instance, while the speakers were speaking, her in that back row with the girls that she were with, they were like loud and like chiming in the way what you would expect like at a high school, like in the hood, like one of the high schools I used to go to, or even when I was in Job Corps, like that. Like maybe the principal is speaking and you have them in the background, like just doing dumb shit. And so her and whoever she was back there with, some guy she was back there with, they kept like chiming in, being loud. And I think people were laughing at what she was doing, but it wasn't because it was funny. I think they were just doing it so that they felt like they were a part of the in crowd. Because I do think that her crowd was the in crowd. I think that the Shameless Maya, Fran, all that was the in crowd. I was the crowd that everybody showed love to, but I still, but you know what? Maybe if I wanted to lead the pack, I could have. I just don't feel the need to do that. Why? It's too much work. I lead myself, and then if a bitch wants to tag along, girl, tag along. Kat Black was amazing. She was such a sweetheart. Nothing negative to say about Mother Cat. Fran, gorgeous, 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 sweet, 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 sweet. I mean, she is exactly, literally what you expect her to be. When I met her, she was exactly what I expected her to be. Taryn Guy, another sweet persona. She's a little standoffish, in my opinion. A little standoffish, but still sweet. I think her vibe is she needs to get to know you before she can open up. And I think that's fair. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And here's the thing. Shane and I never really fell off, per se. It's just, I don't want to tell that story until, because here's the thing. Shane and I communicate. We were just texting about Mother Pat. And he was like, bitch, girl, he got his life. You know what I'm saying? Although he did not share her the way Miles shared her. But that's okay. That's not really his job. And again, you know, with my team, whether Shane shares it or not, we're going to be okay. It would have been nice, but it's not really required. But it's not so much that we fell off. There are some things that took place that you said, oh child, people rip Taryn Guy to shreds sometimes, but I don't mind her. Tell me why they rip her to shreds. I can kind of understand why they might, but I saw okay, I'll get into that and just let me address Shane and then we'll get onto this. With Shane, if he ever has me on his podcast, then I'll go into that. Because for me to really talk about why we kind of were distant, there's something that we'd have to talk about that I really don't want to talk about unless I get his blessing on it, because I feel like if he's not okay with me talking about it, it will put our friendship in a very weird place. Because there were some things that occurred that I've never spoken about publicly. I think he might, enough time has passed now that he might be okay with talking about it. Especially since now he's out the closet. So I think he may be okay with talking about it, but I don't want to make that assumption and then talk about it. And he's like, oh, I was kind of, I don't want to do that. But in any case, but Shane has always been a fan of my work. We did need some time apart, but I think he always maintained that he was a fan of my work. But then years later, Shauna reached out to me first, which was a surprise. She randomly reached out to me and said something like, you were on my mind. I just wanted to reach out to you, something to that effect, which I did appreciate. You know, I'm the type of bitch that even if I fall out with someone, if they come to me and just are genuine, it's hard for me to hold a grudge. That's so difficult. Unless you did something to me that was foul, then I can hold a grudge. But something that was petty, if B. Scott ever said he wanted to have a sit down, I would be open to that. But if you burn me, I'm not going to open the door for you to do that. But if you ring my doorbell, I will open the door. I won't leave her open for you, but I will open her if you ring my doorbell. Especially if you're just be genuine. That's all you got to be. Like if you're being genuine with me, because Funky Dineva apologized to me, it felt genuine. When Dineva, when I told her how she had spoken to me and how she was coming across, she was very quick to apologize. So I will grant her that. I will grant her that. And there's some other things that she did that were late that we addressed, and she apologized. So, I mean, although she was late in the beginning, she eventually did come around. But there was someone else who y'all had asked me about. Who else? Oh, but no, you know what? Let me just say this. We're going to do Taryn Guy, and then I kept want to call her Tamara from OC. We're going to talk about Taryn Guy, and then we're going to move on. I would consider, okay, I keep saying, okay, let me answer this. We're going to shift gears in 5 seconds, for real. So let's lighten up on, was Cheska at, she wasn't at YouTube Black. You talking about Ramsey, Francesca Ramsey? She wasn't there. But a lot of other prominent Black YouTubers were there. I mean, probably T. Pendel was there, who showed me so much love. He's always been very kind to me. Jackie Aina was there. I actually wasn't really familiar with her work. Yeah, Cheska Lee. Cheska Lee is Francesca Ramsey. At least that's my understanding of it. I didn't even know her up until that point. And then when I saw her, I was like, oh, let me look into her work. And I think I can see why people like her, for sure. For sure. And again, a voice that is needed. But in terms of Taryn, let me read what Mother Ashley said. She said her issues and talks of child abandonment with her kids, which gets kind of messy. So I don't want to speak like I have. Okay. Wait, are they saying that she's abandoning her own kids, or she was abandoned as a kid? Because to be honest, I don't really watch her material like that. I just know that she's like a hey friend, hey type, where she's real earthy in that way. And I do follow her on Instagram, and I know she's doing locks and everything, but I don't know what's going on with all this other drama. You said, oh my God, I remember the video with y'all and Sizzler, and you said he hasn't had the right experience with video games. Okay. I vaguely remember that happening. We were at the Sizzler eating. But see, that's one of the things with Shane that I felt bad about with our relationship. I always felt somewhere in his mind that he felt he needed to put me in his videos because he felt like I wanted to be in his videos, when the reality was, honestly, I just wanted to be his friend. When it comes to people in the industry, it's like, in the future, we can work together. But let's become friends first. So that, I don't know. Like, I just feel like it's important to have a friendship first, and then we could talk about business. But I just feel like people are so pressed to be famous that as soon as they meet up with the Shane Dawson type, or even me on the level that I'm at, right away it's like right from the beginning, oh, let's do a YouTube video, girl, let's do this, let's do that. And so for me, I know what that's like even on my level, so I know it's bad on his level. So I just wanted to be his friend, like someone who wasn't trying to use him, nothing like that. And I really didn't want to be in those videos, to be honest with you. Not because I was embarrassed, anything crazy like that, but because I didn't want him to feel like I was just there because I wanted to get fame off his name. You know what I'm saying? Could be a pretty name, but no one would like it because, And it says that she abandoned her own children, but I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, one thing I'll say is this. Taryn and I had a sweet moment. I don't know if it's I hope this isn't inappropriate for me to share this. I'm not going to go into the specifics. But we had a moment where I made her cry, and it was because we were having a heart-to-heart. And I like doing that. That's like that. I feel like that's my calling. Like, I have so many callings, but one of my callings is just to connect on a real way, on a real level. And during YouTube Black, I want to say maybe our last night there was a party that they were having at night. And I was just literally going around dancing with everyone, chanting, and just Cat Black and myself. I mean, it was just a fun night. You know what I'm saying? But that was really all it was. The whole idea of why they say they brought us there, we didn't really accomplish that. But in terms of getting a vacation and having a party, that was fun. And maybe doing a little bit of networking, that was fun. But, so I was dancing around and I ran into her. And I was like pepping her up, and I was like, go ahead, like just doing me. You know how I do. Go ahead, mama, serve it to the girls, blah, 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 blah. And anyway, oh, you scared me, girl. That sounded like a person. Did that not sound like a human? That was my dog, though. Stop playing with me. But I digress. Okay, so, but anyway, we were talking, and I don't remember the specifics. I remember the general conversation, so I'm not going to hop. Well, maybe I will say that because I don't think this is that big a deal. I think we were talking about something about her opening herself up, receiving the blessings, and not feeling bad when the universe does bless you. Sometimes we feel guilty when things that are good happen for us. Sometimes when the things we were praying for occur, somehow we feel we don't deserve it. And so I was just talking to her about that. Like, anything you have, you deserve. Don't ever, for a moment, don't give that time. Don't give that space nor time, because if you have it, it's because you deserve it. But what you got to do is pay it for. Just my normal thing, what I would say. And I was just being real. Like, I was just talking to her, looking her straight in her eye, and just really like talking to her and hugging her and whatever. And then she cried, and that, but crying to me is like a symbol too of like you getting it out. So that was okay with that. That isn't, sometimes I have conversations with people all the time where we're having heart to hearts and they cry and they apologize to me. Like, why are you apologizing? Why? So I don't get that. Like, why would you be apologizing because you cried because you were having a moment with someone, a real human fucking moment? So fucking what? You cried. Big deal. So, because if I cried, I wouldn't be apologizing. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me take that back. The only time for me where it would ever be an apology is if I felt like, for instance, when we're doing our thing here and I feel like I'm here to like work and I'm here to serve you whatever the plate is, and then me crying is like throwing us off the trail of what I was coming to do, then it's like, I'm sorry for taking us off the trail. But in a situation to where it's someone in my personal space, in my face, and we're having a real moment and you start to cry, you don't have to be sorry about that, girl, because that's you purging. You know what I'm saying? No one apologizes for I agree. You know what? That's a good way to put it, Mother Ashley. What's the difference? Because if I said something that you thought was funny and you laughed, you wouldn't be like, girl, I'm so sorry for laughing. That's like you said, that's a natural response to somebody saying something that tickled you. So if somebody says something that touches you, that's also a natural response. And you're not less of a woman or a man or anything like that. It's ridiculous, stupid. But so to me, I don't have anything negative to say about her. I'm not exactly sure what the kid situation is. And then we were talking about some of the politics about YouTube. We had a very Taryn guy. Hey Friend Hey was a part of it for a while, but then there were some other YouTubers that I honestly, and it's not shade, I know that they're popular, but I don't remember who they are. One of the ladies, she's like a workout person, but that's as far as I know. I think she has kids and she does workouts on YouTube. That's as far as I know. But Taryn did participate in some of those conversations where we were talking about race relations. And there was this white guy that also participated in the conversation. He was actually one of the bartenders, but he overheard our conversation. And what I liked about him is that he did engage the conversation, but with an open mind. And although he had some opinions that were opposing opinions, the way he phrased it was coming from a real place. So to me, I'm okay with white people engaging it when they do it like that. Because when he said what he said, then I was like, oh, then I had my rebuttal. And when I gave my rebuttal, then he had his rebuttal. But everybody walked away from that conversation feeling like something was accomplished. Understanding was accomplished. We got something done. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I felt like, in my opinion, that was a success. And that to me is what it should be when you're having that type of conversation. But Taryn, to me, what I liked about her, before I ease up off of her, is the fact that she wasn't afraid to have that conversation. Because as we got deeper into the conversation, the YouTubers started to break away. Maybe they felt like they didn't want to be associated. But she wasn't afraid. She stayed for the duration of that conversation. Then for dinner, I ate with her, one of the guys from the Young Turks, and maybe another YouTuber. I can't remember who was maybe was it Cat Black? Maybe it was Cat. Because Cat, she is so sweet. I mean, if I was in LA, I could see that being someone that I would hang out with. Because, I mean, with her, at least my impression with her was just that, hold on, calm down. Felice, calm it on down. Because now it's all this stuff. Because what it is my partner just got home. So we're gonna wrap up shortly. But what it is when he comes home, then they just get turned the fuck up. But let me see. Let me read some of these comments. I can understand it because it's super vulnerable moment and it's hard to have that attention on you. That I get that. I understand that. Let me read what Mother Ashley says. She says, unfortunately, a lot of people a part of YouTube Black don't want to affiliate themselves with race relations or speaking for. I agree. And I mean, on one hand, you feel like, okay, there's a responsibility, but then it's like, if you're not up for the challenge, then don't even start. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like you're disappointed, but I'm not mad. I'm not mad because I would rather you not even try than to try and then give up on us midway. So they probably made. She said she looks like, wouldn't it be a gag if she was my sister? That would be crazy. But yeah, no, Kat, with her, what I liked about her is it was just a genuine, I could tell, the moment I met her, I could tell she was a fan of my work, and it wasn't put on. It was just like a genuine, bitch, I live. And she was singing my theme song, and that made me fall in love with her because I'm like, she really fucks with me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting ready to wrap up so then we can roll up. I'm going to post this podcast for the children, and then we can watch our shows or whatever the case may be. And then we have to do a movie night soon. Feliz, calm down. Okay. Can you get this woman, like, move this box or something? Because she is just doing, like, a lot right now. The table read I still need to scrub through real quick. And like I told you, I've been having some issues with my tech. So I'm wrapping up whatever work that I don't have to do on this particular laptop, because once you know what? And I should have, here she goes. Calm down. Oh my God. Maybe I should have just had you wait until we were done. Because it's like, they're just doing like the absolute right now. And for me, it's like, the one thing, I know that these are totally different kids, but when moments like that, it's like when I be missing Tamaya. Because Tamaya knew that when Mother was working, calm the fuck down. And she was just used to it, because she's like, oh, he's working right now. She would know it, but it's like, these are different kids. They have their own ways. They have their own setup. But it's like, especially the little one, ooh, she could be so obnoxious. Obnoxious. To the point where I'd be like, ooh, girl, she was this close to us not getting her. She really was, because I love her. See, I'm just being real, girl, because see, y'all know how, this is family, girl. It is what it is, girl. And if I can be real with everything else, girl, y'all know I can be real with my own kids. You said I show my coworkers Mother Pat, and they, yes! But with my kids, when it comes to Kappa, girl, she gets on my fucking nerves. I love her, but she is so annoying. She's annoying because she just, first of all, she screams for no reason. One time I was petting her, I was rubbing her on her ear. She yelped on that. It's like, what is wrong with you, child? What is wrong with you? To the point to where when something does happen to her, you don't be knowing what it is. Is it real, or is she just doing one of those things that she does, where she's just screaming for no reason? One time, I was feeding her, and before she took a bite of her food, she started screaming. What the fuck? It's like, I don't even know how you would train a dog not to do that. Truly. But, you know, I love her. But, girl, what I will say is, too, and this is going to be bad, I don't give a fuck, because it is what it is. Girl, one time I was watching a movie, and I was hitting this blunt, and this girl ran up. I don't know what she's a mixed breed. I know there's some type of terrier in there, which I tried to stay away from the terriers, because I felt like the terriers are serving me a plate that I did not want. With all due respect, I like other people's terriers. I didn't want a terrier mix of anything. Because number one, I felt like a terrier mix was going to serve you small dog. I like bigger dogs. You know why? Because I feel like bigger dogs are like, you get all the benefits. I feel like the smaller dogs, you only get, that's like insurance, where it's like you only get the partial treatments. You only get the preventative. So with a little dog, you get preventative. But with a big dog, you get the entire package. What do I mean? So they're your friend, they love you, they're affectionate, they protect the house, they defend, like, you get all of it. With the small dog, she ain't doing nothing. I like it for other people, but for me, that's my logic. Like, I don't want a small dog, although now I have one. So it's like, I didn't want one, but now I have one, and now I love her. But when she does silly things, she gets on my nerves. I'd be like, ooh, 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 ooh. Because it was my partner that was the one that, he was the one who fell in love with her first. Felice is the one that I fell in love with first. Kappa is the one that he fell in love with first. And why Kappa got on my nerves too is when Tamaya was sick, Tamaya did not want to be bothered with Kappa. And she actually lunged at Kappa a number of times because Kappa does not understand what that means. And so that's another thing. She don't be knowing personal space. When we have guests, sometimes we have to put her in the kennel because she does not understand that everybody does not want to be all up under you like that. Although Felice also is very affectionate too, but the difference with her is because she's so like mellow, when she does annoying stuff, because one day, I don't know what was going through her brain, but she decided she went to chew up one of my shoes. She didn't succeed. She only chewed up like the tongue a little bit, but girl, what? Now you know better. Oh, Kappa is definitely extrovert. 100%. 1000%. You said small dogs can be aggressive. It's like a lion inside that little... Oh, so you think if something ever happened that maybe she would be able to finish it out? Maybe. You could be right. But anyway, listen, let's get ready to wrap up. I know Donald said he had a few questions. Donald, baby, and he always has so many questions, and sometimes they're really good questions too. Sometimes you be asking me stuff that is like, what, girl? But you do have a lot of good questions for the children. And so I apologize that I didn't get to your questions on this episode, but I do want to get to your questions, my love. So maybe I'll answer them on a table read if that's fine. But what I want to say, I always close out kind of gassing my team up. And that's important to me because you deserve it. So it's not unwarranted praise. You all are so amazing. The same way how I was going on about the cameramen, I could not ask for better supporters, better teammates. Because I feel like when y'all write in, I know it's coming from a place of love. I saw in the comments so many people saying that they were sharing, they were doing this, y'all had ideas. Donald gave me an idea about getting the music streamed on something. It's like, we need to come back actually. One day, what if we had a live show one day where it was like a community bulletin type of live show where it was literally us just talking about our ideas on marketing and really trying to figure out how we can get this shit on a larger platform. Like, what if we creatively sat down and really figured out our campaign and how we want to really kind of get it out to the world? I think that you all have amazing ideas, and I think what better than to include the girls on this platform on what is our next step and how is it that we're going to execute it? Because I know that there's no way, whether we have Shane, Mother Miles, this one, that one, any person who shares or doesn't share, I think with all of our minds, with what I bring to the table, with our community, what we have here, there's no reason why we still can't take this thing to the next level. And I was just saying to my partner, like, to me, it's important to me as an entertainer and as an artist to get where I need to be. But moreover, it's important because of what I want to accomplish for the world. So it's like there's a bigger goal at hand, but I know we can do it. It's ambitious. It's going to be not easy, but I think we can do it. I think with the release of Mother Pat and, us kind of coming through and like delivering the plate there, I feel like that has only increased the activity and the engagement with our audience. And I think that with this new song, oh my God, like, I'm only 25% done, and I literally looped the song last night when my partner was sleeping. We were watching our shows. I had this blunt rolling, and I just was dancing all throughout the house. This shit is like, it's possessive. I don't know how to explain it. But like, I felt like this is what my girls want. This is the next plate to follow Mother Pat. And I already have a cart full of shit for the costumes and everything. Because I know I'm like, ooh. Like, I'm already shopping because I'm so confident now in our ability to reach out and touch the girls how we really need to, where it's like, I'm already excited. I'm already shopping for the new video. I'm already like, I literally just sat there for like, because what it was actually how it started was I was trying to get my shit up and running, trying to get this tech shit up and running. And for whatever reason or another, there's bubbles in the audio. there's bubbles and there's areas where it's like, what just happened? Like, why? Which is, Bismillah. That's the thing that's making me nervous with the Sania interview. Because I'm like, the last thing I want is to have the audio with fucking bubbles in it. Or something to where there's a weird, the audio, like, anybody out there who records will know what I'm saying. You ever record where, so the video is one thing and everything is in sync, but then because there's that glitch, it throws everything off. So in a video where there's an hour and there's multiple bubbles in there or glitches in there, now you have to sit there scrubbing through a 2-hour segment just to make sure that if I miss a bubble, then the whole thing isn't thrown the fuck off. So 5 minutes of the video was on point, and then from the 5-minute mark on up, everything is out of sync. I don't like that. I don't like it. So it's just a lot of work. But like I say, I know that it's because this is an old laptop, and she's put in her time. I mean, y'all have to think for over, I don't even know how long I've had this laptop. 5 years? This laptop has done all of my work. Everything that I do has happened on this laptop. So I'm not even mad that I'm having the issues. I just am trying to wrap up whatever work is left here so that I can start to transition my work onto that other computer. But anyway, let me read some of these comments. Because I want to kiki with you about this government. The thing you be saying about having info to piggyback off that maybe you already know. Okay, I feel like, you know what? I'm sorry. I feel like I just had a dyslexic moment and that I wasn't really reading that the proper way. You should sit with Sania but see, I can't sit with Sania at my iMac because I'm going to be recording her here in the living room and my iMac is in my office. So that would mean I'd have to I don't want to have to uproot that big ass computer into my living room. That just feels like so much, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to look into clearing off, like I say, that's why I'm kind of in a race to clear shit off my computer. I want to get this podcast up to the children. I want to get this table read, scrub through her, get that up to the children. And then from that point, I'd like to maybe start doing our live shows in my creative space so that I can do it on my iMac instead of on this computer. A Mac Pro is supposed to really? Well, they ain't building mine that way. Because mine, it seems like now no matter what I do, the space just goes, I don't know where the space is going. Truly. I don't know where it's going. It's like I'll delete all my videos off of here and still, out of 200 gigs, I'll have like 40 gigs. So by the time I pull all my stuff off the thing, that's like 10 gigs. You know, depending on how many hours of footage you have, that's like 10 gigs. Then the edit, that's another, you see what I'm saying? So right away, you're like eating through the space. So with my computer, it has 1 tetrabyte of space. So I should be good. You know what I mean? But we'll have to see. No, she was rescheduled on she was supposed to come this Monday. Hurricane came through. We had to reschedule. So now we're on the calendar for this upcoming Monday. So that's what the new schedule is going to be with Mother Sania. But I think that's gonna strengthen our numbers. I think that's gonna be good for the platform. Of course, I want to have this new song out to you guys in the next week or so. So give me about 2 weeks to get this new song out to you. I think if the universe continues to, to shine on me and to bless me, I feel like this song is probably going to be one of the best. One of the better ones, if not the best. Just because already 25% done, and it's like I literally just had it on repeat. Because I got frustrated with having to deal with these fucking bubbles, these goddamn air bubbles and shit. So I said, girl, fuck this shit for a second. Let me go ahead on and listen to this song. And girl, I had this blunt. I was dancing around. It was crazy. Keep going while, exactly, Persian. That's exactly what it is. The momentum. You said there is no reason why you are not, wait, hold on a second. Why you are not being given more opportunities. You are, thank you, my love. Thank you so much, my love. Well, you know, baby, it's going to happen. Trust me, it's going to happen. And like I say, at this point, we're not going to wait for them to give us anything. We're commanding it at this point to where, we're not going to deny, or we won't be able to be denied. How could you? You see it. That's the reason why in the song, Mother Pat, why I threw that in. Because for any bitch that was on the fence about whether or not I'm coming through with the material, bitch, don't try to act. You know what I'm saying? That's literally what that whole part is about. Don't act. You just saw. We ate this entire performance. So don't act Like we're not bringing the plate. So for me, you know, here we are now with this new track that we're working on that, you know, like I told you, in about a week or two, we're going to have out to the boys and girls of the world. You know, it's about keeping that momentum. It's about creating opportunities for ourselves. I'm done. Like, I'm done waiting. Oh, you know, this, that, and the fourth. We have to do our part, you know, making sure that it's getting shared, blah, 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 which we are doing, which is why I have no doubt this shit's going to take off when it needs to take off. But the whole thing, here's something that I'm going to ask you guys about. I'm so ADD, and I'm going to say this, and then I got to wrap up, because like I told you guys, my partner's home, but girl, you know I got to kiki with my girls, girl. I got to kiki with my goddamn girls. But I digress. So here's what I'm thinking. Two things. Number one, I was just thinking that Mother Pat, okay, so one day I was hitting this blunt, as per usual. I was hitting this blunt, and I thought to myself, when a bitch is doing her face, she's patting her face. That's when you know that shit's about to be on point, bitch. When she puts that finishing powder, bitch, she's pat. So pat just means, bitch, if I get done up, you don't want to see me. Because if I come through, if Mother Pat comes through, if I come through and I actually am trying to give you an effect, bitch, you're going to get the effect. So Mother Pat just means, when you're pat, that just means that, bitch, you're dressed down to the nines. You came out in your Sunday's best, and bitch, you're pat, girl. I see you, bitch. She's pat. Bitch, she did it. Bitch, that's the mother. So that was when I was just sitting there like, bitch, what would a cunt bitch beating her face? She will be pat. That's all it is. So for me, it's like, if I'm pat, so bitch, if I'm beat, like if I come through here and I want you to get into my effect, you're going to get into it. Like if I come through and I'm sitting up here and I build this hairpiece, you know what I'm saying? I built this legendary bun over top of my head, girl. And even with my crown. Oh, let me tell you guys one more behind the scenes secret. So I spent all this time designing the shoe, right? With all these pearls and fucking icicles or fucking glass or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And then the shoe broke. Like, all the shit fell off the shoe. But if you go back and you watch the video, you'll notice there's a few random pearls on the shoe. And you know why? Because I'm such a weirdo. I felt like, I'm not taking these pearls off. Because if they hung on, when the shoe broke and these pearls stayed on my shoe, that means they want to be a part of this video. And who am I to tell them that they can't be part of the video? So I left the pearls on. It was like 3 pearls that survived the accident. Out of like 80 pearls. But like, maybe like 3 survived. But to me, the reason why I left them on is because that's me. I'm that bitch that keeps holding on. Because I want my chance. And so when the shoe collapsed and all the diamonds and the fucking pearls and the ice things that we had put on there had come off, or that I put on there had come off. And it was so much work because I had been getting so burned by the glue, the hot glue. Touching hot glue smushed onto your finger when she's hot, girl, that shit hurts. Especially repeatedly on the same fingers that you're using. So, but anyway, that's just what we give, girl. No team member left behind. I felt like those pearls wanted to be a part of the video, girl. And I know that they aren't real. They're not people. But in my mind, I felt like I'm that pearl, bitch. People keep trying to discount me and take me away from opportunities, bitch. And I'm going to leave these pearls on here. And I left them on. That's a sign from the universe Q telling you to keep going down. Yeah, I'm definitely, like I told you guys, we have a lot going on. I promise you, I'm not going to let you guys down. You know, my first priority, obviously, is to make sure that my patrons are taken care of. But I think that we have there's a lot more to this community than just the kikis. Like, I feel like we kiki, we talk about deep shit, we talk about shit that means something to us, we talk about business, we talk about so much. And that's what this shit is, and that's what it's about. I had said that I had wanted to buy like 700 acres of land and then like just move my patrons in, and then we build our own community. Like move in some doctors, move in like people who know what they're doing. But like, what if we did that? Wouldn't that? I know that's crazy, but what do you think? That's crazy, but I think it could happen. I mean, personally, it could be our own personal Planet Goo, and then like, I feel like it could happen. It's so ambitious. I have so many ideas. I do need to streamline my ideas, but all I know is everything that I'm doing in terms of the bigger picture is going to be to the better good of the people, my patrons, myself. Like, I don't want nobody getting hurt. But at the same time, I know if I end up having to spearhead this campaign, there's the potential that I could potentially get hurt. But bitch, the way I view it is I'm gonna die anyway at some point. So if I died in a situation that made the world better, that would be the best way to go out instead of just dying for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. So all I know is I'm going to step up to the challenge regardless of the fact. And anybody that's going to work with me is going to be okay with that. I think that they would be, okay with it. Maybe we can negotiate, maybe me saying certain things on their platform, but okay, maybe if we give you the show, you can't talk about that here, but on your own YouTube, you can talk about it. I just don't want nobody telling me that I can't do what I wanted to do in terms of, I'm going to do this thing for the insurance with the girls because I have so many ideas. I know we can fix this shit overnight. And anybody that tells you that we can't is a bitch that is either Stockholm Syndrome. Again, I think I talked about this on the table read or maybe the podcast. I don't fucking know, but the point is either they're Stockholm Syndrome or they're a part of the system. They could change that shit overnight if they wanted. And I feel like once I have a platform and I have a voice to where I can really vocalize it, maybe if we can speak passionately enough about the topic, maybe we can start to show the country that, wait, we can do something different. We can do something different. We can. Like, maybe slowly we can start to do that. You said... Oh yeah. Mother Pat, I wanted it to be a key, but I did pull from real circumstances in my life. Every verse is a real circumstance, a real scenario. You know what I mean? I didn't want it to be like The Revelation. I don't know. That's a throwback. I don't know how many of y'all have ever heard of my song, The Revelation, where it's very straightforward. I wanted it to be a little bit more nuanced, and I wanted it to feel more, hold on a second. Congratulations. Bismillah. Girl, you got this. Girl, you've got this. How exciting. Like I say, I'm not ever gonna have, I keep saying that, and I keep feeling like, what if one day I end up having a kid and it's like totally unexpected? But anyway, I'm always happy when people who want to be parents and who are looking forward to it have it, because those are the people who need to be parents. You know what I'm saying? Someone who was like, I'm excited for my child, and and the nervousness that you're feeling, that means that you're going to be a good mom. You're going to be a good mom. That's why you're nervous. I think Patti LaBelle said it best. She said, every time I go on stage, I'm nervous. But the moment that I'm not nervous to perform is when I should stop doing it. Because that means you don't care. When you're nervous, it's because you're like, okay, you want to do good. You want to do well. Like, you want to, not all the time. There are some, let me be clear, there are some exceptions to the rule. But in general, like, just typically speaking, it's like, there's a reason why you're nervous. And it's because you care about what you're doing. It means something to you to be a good mom. And so that, because it means something to you, that means that you're going to be one, because you're going to go out of your way to ensure that you give that child what they need. And so, congratulations. We have a new family member about to be born into the world. And it's going to be amazing for you. Just make sure that you update us, because you said it could be, they give you the date, but it might be before or after the 9th, or maybe on the 9th exactly. But in any case, whenever the baby, enters the world, just let us know that everything was a success. Universe willing, and keep us posted. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, Ahmad, how are you with your healing? Because I know we really haven't asked you in a while. I mean, I know your surgery was maybe a few months ago, but how was your healing? Are you, assuming you're still in the house? And I know somebody else had gotten burned, and I wanted to know how they were doing with their recovery process. Just make it. Let me read. Okay, so you said, hey Q, on your YouTube page, you could make Mother Pat the main video on your homepage. It shows. Oh, really? I thought I changed that. YouTube is fucking with me, bitch. I changed that the day I released it. What the fuck? Thank you for telling me about that, my love, because that is some bull fucking shit. I literally changed that the day it was released. I don't know how it went back to the Real Turds of Atlanta. But here's what I want to ask you guys real quick, and then I swear I gotta go, because I know he's thinking, now you keep trying to wrap it up. But what it is every time I get with my family, girl, especially since What I should have had was a cocktail and a blunt roll so we can celebrate. Maybe we'll do that for a movie night, you guys. Because Sania's coming on Monday, I don't want to do it Sunday because I want to use Sunday preparing for Sania. Let's think about maybe doing maybe Wednesday. What do you guys think about a Wednesday? We do movie night. And we just keep and celebrate. Let's do a real celebration. Like I'm talking about, if you don't smoke, bring your wine or whatever you need. Just bring something so that we can celebrate, because this really is all of our success. Like literally, I'm sure you guys can remember. You know what? Now, Carl, my partner, literally said the exact same thing. So now that you're saying it, maybe it's the universe trying to let me know, because my partner literally said the same thing. So, Carl, write it in the comments how you would write the headline. Let me see how you would write it. Would you, so show me how you would write it in a way to where we can capitalize, but to where, because I told him, I said, you know, I just feel like once I release a video, I hate changing the title. I've done it a few times, but I really hate doing that. But he was just like, right, but what does the hawk mean though? I feel like the hawk was a sign, but what does that mean? What did you pull something from that? Because I feel like it was a sign, but I don't know what, I was trying to figure out like what sign does it mean though? You see what I'm saying? I think it was a sign, but that's something that I feel like was a sign. I just don't know what it means. But anyway, it says also super proud of you, Q. Yeah, that's Zachary, baby. We about to do this. We gonna do it. I'm so fucking excited, you guys. Like, and I can't wait for y'all to hear this new fucking song. I think I may have 2 songs for y'all too. Oh, that was the question. I'm so ADD. Okay, so here's my question. And y'all tell me what you think. I kind of feel like now that we're kind of going in a serious way, kind of dealing with, oh, if that's Tamaya, I would cry. That would make me cry a little bit, I think. Maybe not even a little bit. If something happened where that bird gave me a clue that was Tamaya, I might cry. But I digress. Snatching what's meant for you. Huh? There's so many interpretations. I'm going to wait to see that bird again because I see that bird around. I don't fucking know. It can mean a lot of things. But I'm not going to... Because sometimes when I get signs that I know are signs that I can't... I don't like to feel like I'm trying to make my own message. I like... Because normally the messages are very clear. Maybe it takes me thinking a little bit. But normally the messages are clear. But... So I'm not going to think too much about that one. It's just one that I'll charge to the game that I don't know exactly what it meant. But let me just say this, and I want to get y'all's opinion, and then we'll wrap up. Since we're seriously kind of going in the direction of music, okay, so he feels the way you felt, my love, about putting official music video. Mm-hmm. I knew we literally, was it last night that conversation transpired? Yeah. Literally last night he said, maybe you should put music video in so people know it is a music video.
I saw the patrons comment about it.
Oh wait, there was a comment about that?
Yeah, I told you it was a new patron.
That said, maybe I did see, did I say I saw that comment?
I don't know if you saw it or not.
It is a good idea. I think my main thing was, I just don't want to like confuse anything. I know. I know it. I know. Well, when I say confused, what I mean is I don't mean the people. I more or less mean, because you know the lady who we spoke to said that, okay, once you change something, then in the system, it starts you all the way over. Remember how she said that? Yeah. But it might be better.
It might be better because now you're going to be in a system with the word music video.
Yeah, okay. All right. So I'll do it.
Typing, oh, I'm searching for blah, blah, blah music video.
It'll come up. Sure. Okay. All right. That's fair. That's a good point. All right. So I'll do it. I think, and then the way you wrote this up, I think that, I will go ahead on and change that. So new people can, yeah. Okay. All right. All right. People have spoken. I'll go ahead and make that change then. A hawk, a flight can mean something in your life. Oh. Ooh. Now that actually makes the most sense to me since birds fly. Hawks are fierce. Like they know where they're going. Huh. Okay. Well, I'll take that. I'll take that. And it did follow me. Now, that was the part that kind of, it wasn't scary. It was just strange because it was very clear that it was looking at myself and the dog. Or at least, I wouldn't say it was looking at myself and the dog, but I know it was definitely looking at me. Because then I was kind of turning my head and the bird was also doing its head, just like doing that thing that birds do. But I digress. So here's my question. I keep bringing this question up and I'm never going to ask it. It'll be movie night and I'll still be saying, here's my question. Okay, so here is my question for real. My question is, since we're going more in the direction of music, it feels like I feel like we have a number of new songs that are coming out. Do you guys think, I almost feel like I should kind of like cut back on talking about celebrities? Because I feel like, okay, let's just say when I do get put on, what I don't have time for is a bunch of questions about why I said certain things about different celebrities. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I almost want, what you're going for the ashtray? Okay. I almost feel like in the bigger picture that might be harmful to my career. I mean, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? And I know that you guys, you agree with what I'm saying, Mariah? Yeah, maybe I'll save the celebrity talk for my patrons. Because I just feel like, I was just thinking like, in the bigger picture, it's going to be, I feel like it'll be something to where it'll be like, before I even really get started, people are going to try to take me down just based off of shit that I said when I was 18, 20, so forth and so on. Although to me, I don't see why they try to take me down because at the end of the day, bitch, don't Charlamagne the God talk about girls and don't she got a career and don't people still come to her show? Oh, no. I would never, God forbid, go down the Azealia Banks path because I feel like I have enough sense to know the difference between a review or my opinion versus me causing legitimate harm to my career. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a way. And I think there may have been times where there were things I did that might have been harmful to my career, but I think in general, I try to be smart about the things that I say. And when I say I try to be smart about it, I feel like if I'm going to speak on it, I need to be truthful, but I need to be truthful in a way to where it's not like malicious. It's me giving my opinion. And of course, because I'm an entertainer, comedian, storyteller, whatever, it can be comical and I have a little bit more freedom, like a Dave Chappelle can talk about certain things that maybe other girls can't talk about. So for me, I feel like I can give my opinion, but I still need to be careful not to harm our bigger picture agenda for what we're trying to accomplish in the bigger picture. I don't know, but I want to read the comments and see what the children think. Okay. Does that include TV shows? If I'm on a show like The View, then I would be able to talk about it because that's what the show would be. But I feel like I kind of want to go in the direction of showcasing shit that I like, celebrities that I like, YouTubers that I like, things that I like in general. Like, I'm thinking maybe we should try that and see if that could be entertaining. Because to me, I feel like I don't want let's just say, okay, now I'm at the Breakfast Club. But you asking me about Beyonce, about what I said about her in a video from 8 years ago. I don't want to share my moment with Beyonce. I want to share my moment with my supporters, with my team, with you guys. I want to celebrate that, but I feel like I can already see it being like, oh, well, why did you, like, I could just see that the things that I have said about other people, that being a point of the conversation to where that takes over. But let me see. So let me continue to read. Yeah, keep it on Patreon so there won't be any any receipts. Okay. Girl, she had the most momentum, and I really do feel bad for Azealia because she really is talented, and it just sucks that. But again, I feel like I would love to have a therapist. She really needed some help, and she just didn't get it, and that's the part that sucks about it. But let me continue to read. But you never say anything. That's true. I definitely try not to be a hate because to me it's like, okay, I'm not a hateful person. But I do give my opinions, and I can be straightforward with my opinion. I'm just trying to think about the future, and I'm trying to think about our agenda, and I'm just trying to think what's the best way for us to position ourselves to where we can get our agenda out there. All the things we talk about, how do we need to position this, you guys, to where to where it doesn't harm all the bigger picture goals that we've talked about with the insurance, with the grocery store, with the summer camp, with like all these different things that I would love to accomplish. How do we address it? But anyway, I'm still reading. Let me see. Yeah, she's too open about her opinions, negative with who is Zelia, okay? Like, for instance, would you speak on things like insecure? I don't know. I mean, Darby, what do you think? Do you think it's harmful? And we're going to wrap this up, but I want y'all to think about it. Just think about it, because I think this is something that's important for the bigger picture. But anyway, let me continue. Q, this is a sidebar, but what's the release? It says, but what if you released an EP of the songs you've already released? I was already thinking that, Zachary. See how we are on the same page? Including some of the songs. Hold on. Including some of the new tracks on iTunes. I agree, my love. I see you with an Oprah type of platform. Right. And I mean, maybe, you know what? It might not be Oprah, because I do see it being a little bit more edgy than Oprah. But I understand where you're going, because the way I want my show to be set up, I don't want it to be a show where I want it to be fun. Like, when you tune in to watch the show, I want you to have your glass of wine like, girl, who's coming on the show this weekend? And bitch, I want it to be fun. And I want to do something that's a little bit different, because what I'm thinking is, what if I'm the first person who has a successful late night show, but that also does music and tours regularly, and also has a show on HBO? Because I have this idea that I think will be amazing. And I want Kelly Dodd from the Housewives of Orange County. She has to be on my show because I love her, and I feel like she'll be perfect for my show. So we could do all this shit, and with all of those platforms, I'll have all of what I need to really start saying, hey, I have this idea. Because here's my thing. I think if I have the right minds, we can get the insurance thing going to where we can make insurance like $30. To where if you are sick, diabetes, cancer, AIDS, Alzheimer's, all kinds of things, to where we can take care of our people and make it fair. $30 is like reasonable, especially, and I want to make it to where if I got a record deal, I would want people who are smart, who make it to where 5% of whatever I earn through this label is going to my charity, or whatever it is that we're doing. 5%. That's just without me even taking my own checkbook and writing the check out myself, but just automatically put the money towards this. I feel if we start small, and maybe we only have like 300 girls on the insurance that we're doing, and if I put in like $5 million just to start it off, with seed money to start it off, in my mind, I feel like if everybody pays $30, we should be able to take care of everyone to where they should be able to get their medications. I want to have people on the inside who know how to negotiate. Like, until we can make these medications free, let's at least negotiate to where we can get a discount, to where we can get discounts, to where we can do this, that, and the fourth. We're going to do this. Like, to me, that is so important. I know we can do it. We're going to do it. And so if I had a late night show and all these things, I would have the support and the backing and the notoriety to where if I went to another celebrity, what if I went to like, who can I think of that I really like? That's a celebrity. Let's just say we went to Issa. I don't fucking know. I don't know who else to say. Let's just say we went to Issa. And when we went to Issa, let's just say I put in $5 million, and let's just say she puts in $5 million. Now that's $10 million. So for 300 girls, I don't care what disease you have. If we have 3 girls that have cancer, whatever the treatments are, we're going to get the treatments. And I feel like that's how we should take care of our girls. And I feel like if maybe after 2 years of doing that, where we have proven that it works, maybe 2 years in, then people will be like, well, I want it. Well, shit, if it works, why shouldn't I? Why am I paying $3 and $4 and $5 and $600 for insurance when I could pay $30 and get the same shit? That's where I'm trying to take this shit. Fuck these health insurance companies, girl, because they don't give a fuck about us, girl. They really don't. And so, don't you think the government and Big Pharma will shut you down quickly? I don't think so. Not if we plan it the right way. Not if we plan it. I think they're going to try. But I want to have all the best attorneys on this. I want to have other celebrities that will stand up, like Susan Sarandon, girl. Let's get you on board, girl. Let's get a $5 million contribution. Let's get Shalane. Let's get $5 million. Let's get $5 million from all the girls. Once so many people get involved, I think the way that they will do it, is they'll still let it be where you can still get the insurance with the other girls, but who would want to when you could pay, who's going to pay $600 when you can pay $30? So I agree with you, Ahmad. They're probably going to try to shut us down, but that's why we have to be a few steps ahead. We have to be smart. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And I know we can do it. I feel like it's an uphill climb, and they have the manpower, but Aaron Brockovich, I know that that's an exception to the rule, but maybe we can be the exception to the rule. You know, maybe we can. And so for me, it's just a matter of making sure that we mobilize and we're smart. That's the main thing. We got to be smart. We got to be unified, and we have to be persistent. We can't give up. That's all. You know, when they knock us down, because they probably will, we just got to get up and okay. We gotta make sure we play by the rules so that we can't give them a reason to shut us down. Oh, well, you didn't file your taxes, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. So now we don't want to hand them reasons to shut us down, but we want to make sure that we don't get off the course of what it is that we're trying to do. But anyway, you know what? I saw the Mother Pat response. I didn't see the Dead to Me one yet. But it was so funny. You be cracking me up sometimes because it's like, again, sometimes when I'm listening to you talk, it's like I'm hearing me talk. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like I'm listening to myself talk, which is, it's a little bit, it's different. I'm not going to sit here and flex. It's different. But I understand that it's coming from a place of love, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? I understand. But I appreciated you putting that video up and you showing me love, and you know, just kind of going through moment to moment, kind of doing the review moment to moment, what you thought. So I thank you for that, and taking the time to kind of just put that out into the universe, so that just having Mother Pat in a video title is out there, so that people will know, like, okay, people are doing reviews, whatever the case may be. So I appreciated that. The clone from the party, girl, that was something else. What made it so weird about that, and then I promise you I'm wrapping up right now. What made it so strange, oh, thank you so much, my love. Exactly what I was needing. Thank you so much. Ooh.
Yeah, it's not good. I don't like that.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad.
I like this brand. It falls apart.
She falls apart, but you made lemonade out of lemons. Trust me. This is not bad. See? He knew exactly what the doctor needed. And this smells like maple syrup. Are you tasting that?
I don't taste it.
You don't? Okay. I'm gonna take this in. I promise you. Give me 4 minutes. I'm wrapping up, okay? Thank you, my love. I lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was just saying, actually. If you can remind me. I think we do Optimo, and we do 2 brands. There's 2 brands that we ping pong between. I can't think of the other name. Swishers. Swishers and Optimo?
Yeah.
Swishers and Optimo. So Swishers and Optimo, the clone. 12K in 2 days. Right, Max? You guys, I love you guys so much. Yo. I swear, I'm going to get back to the clone card, but let me just say this real quick. Universe, if you bless me to live long enough to deliver this promise, here is my promise to my family right here, right now. When we get to a point where we can do this summer camp, it's going to be so lit. I swear, I'm going to make it so much fun for you. So much fucking fun for you. I mean, to just thank you all for all what you're doing for me. There's like no words, really. There's just no words, because I just feel like the reason why we go so far over the time, because when I first started this, I said, okay, we're going to do an hour. Then I increased it to an hour and a half. Now it's like but the reason why that is because the conversation is so good, because it's like when you're talking to your family, girl, it's just what it gives. And I just feel like at this point, we really are family, because you have to think about it. I mean, I talk to y'all more than I talk to some of my blood relatives. Y'all been fucking with me and know more about me than some of my actual family does. And when I say some, I mean most. No shade. Because I don't fuck with them motherfuckers like that. I love you. But girl, that's as far as it's going to go. And I feel as though, bitch, y'all didn't even want me to win. Now all of a sudden, people start mentioning my name. And then they start to realize, wait, that's my brother you're talking about. Yeah, girl. Well, I told you in the kitchen 2006 when you told me that I would be a no one, that, girl, I was going to be a someone. I was destined for greatness. Girl, I told you that then and you didn't believe me. And you know what? One of my sisters said to me, I love this sister and she's actually so much fun when she's not being a bitch. But the problem with her is it's very easy for her to switch into her bitch mode. And so that's where it goes. But in any case, she told me something that was so hurtful one time. I have a lot of siblings, and really the number, I'm always confused on the number because I feel like it's 11 of us, but it might be more like 8 or 9. And maybe I'm viewing a few cousins on my dad's side as siblings, and I could be wrong. But in any case, my sister had said something to me that was very hurtful. They've said a lot of hurtful things to me, let's be clear. But this was something that I thought was so hurtful because she said to me, I was saying to her about college, where I felt while I was still in college, and I said something like, and it might not be 11. I've maybe highballed that because just with my mom and my siblings on my mom, it's 5 of us guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Guaranteed it's 5 of us. And then there are the 3 that I know are my siblings. And then I think there are 3 that I'm now understanding are my cousins or something to that effect. Girl, it's a lot going on in my family. But the thing is, I don't really deal with and that's not because they did anything to me. It's just unfortunate, really. My dad's side, I'm really not that close to. And maybe we would have been close if I knew them. But I think most people end up being closer to one side than the other. It's unfortunate, though. You really should know both sides. Because even like with my grandparents on my mom's side, we don't know the white side of the family. And there's an entire white family that we don't know about that is related to us. Or that we are related to and they are related to us. But there has never been a time where I have put my eyes on those people. I've never spoken to those people. I don't know who those people are. But I just know in the world there's a white family that somehow we have the same DNA to a point. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, she said to me one time, my sister in the kitchen, it was my oldest brother, my mother, and my sister. And she said to me, you have better hope. Because I had said to her that I don't see why I was in college because I felt like I was wasting money. I kept failing that math class. I was wasting money. And really, I'm an entertainer. I don't need a degree to be successful at being an entertainer. And she said to me, number one, she called me a bum because I was living at home and was struggling to pay the little bills that I had. But then she said to me, well, you better hope that mommy never dies because you will be in trouble. Why would you speak that onto our mom, you fucking bitch? Because what it is they just didn't like me, my sisters. Truly. I think they may have loved me, but they did not like me. And they always liked my middle brother, but they never liked me. Always. They have always been very mean to me. Especially when I was a kid. That's when they were the worst. Just little evil things that they would do. And so, but then all of a sudden when my YouTube started to make moves, I hear all of a sudden my oldest sister she's calling me up after she told me at my brother's graduation, she said, if I were on a boat or if she saw me in the middle of the ocean on a banana peel or something to the effect of me being on a banana peel in the ocean, and she had a boat and she could help me, she wouldn't. That's what she said. She said because it all happened because she was upset with me because I would not accept what she was telling me. Because it was my brother's graduation and my brother already saw my outfit. He already said my outfit was fine. So if he is okay with it, why you have an issue, I don't understand. But I don't give a shit about your opinion because whatever. So, and my mom was okay with it too, because my mom was like, well, such and such, you know, the person whose graduation it is doesn't have a problem. So what's your deal? Well, it's just inappropriate. It's who wears khakis and Converses. And it wasn't even that big a deal. I had on khaki pants, red Converses. I had on a white t-shirt and a Mecca, like a hoodie, like a zip hoodie. It was a Mecca zip hoodie. So this should tell you how long ago this was. But anyway, it was a Mecca zip hoodie, and it was red and white. And it tied in with my red shoes. That was my outfit. That was it. Because I've never been a dressy person. My family knows that about me. I'm not a dressy person. I'm only at 28 am I only now really seriously looking into like button down shirts. I literally my whole life have just been comfortable in wearing t-shirts, jeans, and like simple shit. That's what I like. And so anyway, she felt like it was inappropriate. I needed to button down. I needed to wear dress shoes. And here was where it was so bad, why she couldn't take me. My sister was pregnant with my second nephew at the time. And maybe she was like 6 months pregnant. She was wearing like 4-inch heels or 5-inch heels, whatever. They weren't like platform, but they were high. So I don't know what the inch was, but it was a high heel with the one-piece dress that my sister has a huge butt. Now that's something that she got straight from God. Because she does have a Serena butt. And it's a real one. This is prior to all the pump and the seal and the surge. She has a real big butt. But she's pregnant, so she's big in the front and she's big in the back. But here it is. She's mad at my outfit because she feels it's inappropriate. But you think that if you had to bend down, we would literally see up your dress. And so that's appropriate, but you don't like my outfit? I said, when you change your outfit, I'll change mine. And she could not take it. Because see, now I'm getting older at this point. See, I'm not the same little kid that you could just boss around and do how you did me. And talk to me and make fun of me and do all those things that you did. So now I'm standing up for myself. No, I'm not changing my outfit. My brother has approved it. My mother has approved it. Your opinion does not matter. Girl, I don't even hardly see you. What? I see you once every 4 or 5 years? Girl, who are you? She's older. My sisters are in their 40s now. So my sisters are older than me. But the point was, they never liked me. To be fair to them, I will say I do believe they loved me. I just don't think they liked me. Because then I was feminine. You know, I was gay. And then that's the reason why the one sister felt like I made her son gay. And she blamed that on me, which is, it's a whole deep story to my family. Which is why I'm always so tough. Because, bitch, I really didn't have a choice. Because I went from my family to the outside world. It was only my brothers and my mom and my dad who really had my back. And even my brothers were kind of wishy-washy about it, but at least I do believe my brothers would have my back if it really went down. My blood brothers. But my sisters never really had my back. And they never really liked me. No. Just because. But anyway, so, see, here we go with another story time. But now I gotta finish. I can't just leave y'all without the story being finished. You know what I'm saying? But in any case, so what happened was she could not take the fact that I was like not doing what she wanted. So it elevated. It started to elevate to where she started to become like increasingly angry because I was so like nonchalant because I knew that I wasn't going to change. So why waste my energy on something that it doesn't really matter what she fucking thinks. So now here we are. You know, we're about to go to maybe Olive Garden. We're about to have dinner prior to the graduation. And we're driving and she is going off at this point. I mean, she's cussing in front of my mom, which is so, in my opinion, disrespectful. I hate that. It's like, I hate when any of my siblings cuss, because I'm the only one. I think maybe me and my oldest brother and myself. But I hate when I hear my sisters or my middle brother cuss in front of my mom. I just find it to be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. And I don't even think she likes it, but I think my mom is so soft-spoken, and at this point, she just allows that. But anytime I cuss in front of her, she knows that I don't do that. So she'll even look up like, what? But if it slips out, I will immediately apologize. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. If it ever slips out, I will always apologize because I do not cuss in front of my mom, or my dad, or any elder that I have respect for. I don't cuss.